Hey everybody, good evening. Thank you for joining us this week for Crituitous RP, the half-rate heroes, back in Waterdeep for some more city adventure and action. Thanks so much for joining us. My name's Eugenio. I use he/him pronouns. You may also know me as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master DM Jazzy Hands from the Last Refuge Actual Play podcast, and I'm glad you're with us here tonight. Why don't we start off? Let's go ahead and go around and introduce everybody so that you know who they are and who they're playing, and let's start with Carl.
Hi, I'm Carl. I play Lefcadio, the Tabaxi Warlock.
Alrighty, and let's see who's next. Vinny.
My name is Vinny. I play Kale Irvine, the half-elven knowledge cleric of Denier.
You'd think by now you'd have that a little down, but anyway. The knowledge cleric. Alright, Casey.
I'm Casey H, doing a she/her, and I am playing Nos, the champion of Timora, Impaler of Plains, heckler of big fire chickens, and she who would fight the storm.
Is that fire chicken one's always in there? Do I just not remember that? Do I willfully forget it so that I'm delighted every week? Is that what happens? Great. John.
Hey guys, I am playing. Who am I playing? I'm playing Wampum Thunderbelly, your Mountain Dwarf Battle Master. And I'm ready to start swinging.
Yeah, I know you are. You spent all of last week without swinging that axe once. I know. It must be hard. I know. We'll see what we can do for you this week. Last but most certainly not least, Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham. I play Tazlin, the Shadow Archai Necromancer. Happy to be with you today.
Excellent. All right. So, as I said last week, the crew arrived in Waterdeep. They were sent there ostensibly through some orders from the Raven Queen for Tazlin, although the rest of the party did have some business in town. Who wants to give us a few little glimpses at what was done last week? We like split the party, which, you know, fun times for all. So, who wants to tell us about what one part of the party did? Oh, y'all.
I know.
You just did an involved 15-minute review for all of us before we went live, Graham. I don't want to hear it. John, go ahead. Wampum, go ahead.
I know Wampum went shopping because he needed another battle axe.
That's right.
Because, when the group got 14th level, so Wampum picked up dual wielding. So he needed to find himself another battle axe.
That's right. And you, as I recall, you found a member of the Armors and Weapon Makers Guild who happened to be a dwarf and sort of made a deal with them.
Right.
So they cut you a bit of a deal on price and time. Was that right?
Right. We went from 10-day to 8-day.
Right. Perfect. All right, so Wampum went shopping, also checked in on some inns that are selling his family's ale. How about Nos and Tazlin?
Nos and Tazlin were day drinking on the streets, and they went to a tailor originally to get some new duds, I guess. And then Tazlin wanted a new staff, and they were wandering around, and it was getting kind of late. And then he kind of like broke a branch off of a tree in the middle of the city and was like, "This'll do."
Excellent. Anything to add, Nos? Although that pretty much covers it.
I was able to obtain a drift globe, one that is for sure not the soul of a person.
At least as far as you know, it's at least not one of the ones that goes to the city of the dead every night. All right, and then Lefcadio and Kale ended up together for part of the day, sort of. Why don't you all tell us about that a little bit?
While Lefcadio was having his secret meeting with the Emerald Enclave, a very clandestine organization, Kale bought some maps and some map-making tools, and he's going to learn how to make maps.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You also got a map of the first, or you're going to get a copy of maps of the first, 7 or 8 levels of Undermountain, right?
Yep.
I don't know how I let that happen, but anyway. This is going to turn into a Dungeon of the Mad Mage campaign. It's totally fine. All right, and Lefcadio, how about that secret meeting with the clandestine Emerald Enclave?
So the Emerald Enclave isn't a clandestine organization, but I am a clandestine operative of the organization. This is what I would tell Kale if he brought it up again.
He almost certainly will, so.
Lefcadio had a meet and greet with 2 folks of the Emerald Enclave. One very disembodied voice who tipped him off to a potential magic weave affecting incident that happened in Waterdeep, and pointed him in the direction of the Temple of the Seldarine, or the temples that the elves hang out in, and he set up a meeting with one of the operatives for Kale to meet, because Kale wanted to read his mind probably, and that appointment was abruptly dropped when he got a better offer.
All right.
Yes.
I think that largely covers what happened last week. So, of course, the next question is, what happens this week? So the very last moments of our session last week, I believe, was Kale having that sending conversation with Vajra and being invited back to Blackstaff Tower around noon, around high sun the next day. Was there anything else? I mean, I suppose Kale and Lefkadia sort of need to make their way back to the Gentle Rest, which is where you all have acquired rooms. But was there anything else that we wanted to do for this evening? I think most of the shopping that you all wanted to accomplish, you've put your orders in, and it may take, anywhere from 3 to 10-ish days to get those magic items available that you'll be notified when they arrive, if and when they arrive.
Kale told us to return, so that's what we're going to do. I'll drag Taslin kicking and screaming over my shoulder if I have to. And I
like to imagine that Taslin has been sitting down, you just grab him by like the cuff of his shoulder and you're like sliding him along.
Whichever way is less painful, because she'll know that she hurts things without meaning to, for sure. But I will, once we get to the Gentle Rest, expect Kale to be there relatively soon after.
Okay. All right, so you all can then, if there's nothing else, make your way back to the Gentle Rest, and yeah.
Kale is going to tell Lefkadio that he's just going to stay at the tower. I'm just going to wait there. I don't want to miss this meeting. It's very important.
You're gonna wait. Am I with you? Because I know when we were in the Temple of Denir together.
I think you did go to the courtyard of Blackstaff Tower together.
Okay. Do they have like a room or something that you're gonna just stay outside like?
I don't know. I'll just stay outside if I have to. I've done it before. It's not a big deal. But I want to make sure I don't miss the meeting because it's very important to everybody.
Well, I at least want to tell everyone about it. Are you sure you're gonna be all right?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
All right. Well, good luck. And if you need anything, holla.
I will.
All right. Choices? Fantastic. So Kale's going to stay there overnight. I mean, like you said, you're no stranger to camping outside. You guys have been adventuring for long enough. Like, that's not a big deal. Presumably you have your supplies with you, so that's fine. So the rest of you then, absent Kale, arrive together, regroup at the Gentle Rest, update each other on your days, and head to bed for your first night in Waterdeep. The next morning, as dawn comes, Lefkadio, you hear a sort of tapping on the window of your bedroom in the Gentle Rest.
A rapping?
A rapping at your window pane?
I go to the window pane and I look at the source and cause of the rapping and tapping.
Outside of the window is a adorable little sparrow that's rapping its beak on your window.
Well, I open that window and I Disney princess it up.
Oh, well, in that case, it flies around your head a few times and lands and perches on your finger, your outstretched finger, and sings a brief song before opening its mouth and talking to you. It does that, and a voice that you immediately recognize as Jareth's voice issues forth from the tiny little sparrow and says, Lefkadio, I've discovered some interesting and perhaps disturbing things about the book that you left with Melanor. Be a dear and meet me at Falconmere before you go to the Temple of the Seldarine today. And the bird is actually really enjoying being with you, so it's not going to leave, but it's done talking.
I tap. I give it like little nozzles on its head, these little pets. And just as a meta clarification, I believe Nos has the book. I didn't leave the book with anyone because no one trusted me to not do anything untoward.
Yes, sorry if I suggested that the book was there. I did not mean to, but you did tell Melanor about it, right?
Yes.
Yes, so Jareth has apparently been informed of its existence and figured something out.
Right. All right. Well, then I'll make my way down to the common room and wait for everyone to wake up. And I will mention things to them when they arrive.
All right. Any of the rest of you early risers, what's your morning routine? We haven't really talked about this.
Tazin only needs to sleep like 4. Well, he doesn't even sleep, but he kind of has a reverie for 4 hours. I'm assuming once he got back, he probably had 1 stiff drink and went to bed. And probably found Iskar, like, standing at his door, angry that Kale, like, left him. So Tazin probably, like, scooped up the fat cat and, like, brought it into his room.
Yeah.
And, like, 4 hours later, he probably would have wandered down into, like, the common area of the inn and just kind of taken up a post and sat there.
All right. So actually, Lefkadio, then Tazlin is probably just down there at his post when you, after you've received the message and head downstairs. Nos and Wampum, early risers, anybody?
No.
No.
I could be. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. No. With the dawn of the sun, she will respond to that.
All
Her
right.
eyes dilate. What she'll do is she'll wake up. She will pray in the morning sun, and then she will proceed to work out for a solid hour before
Good. All right.
doing anything.
All right.
Wampum really rolls out of bed and hits the floor, and then he gets himself up, and then he stretches and pops all of his joints, and then he says good morning in the morning, and then he does loosen up a little bit with his axe, just swing, work out a little bit, maybe break a couple chairs.
I mean, I know y'all are good for the money, so it's fine. All right, excellent. So you all can sort of determine if and when you all finally meet up with each other down in the common room.
Well, when I see everyone, or everyone minus Wampum, depending on how long he stays up there,
Sure, breaking things.
I'll remind everyone that Kale he's got a noontime appointment with some important person at the tower of the magic users, and I wanted to mention to all of you that when I visited the Emerald Enclave, the person that I spoke with wasn't at all much familiar with that book. However, just this morning I got another message from someone else at the Emerald Enclave that they know something about it and want me to come visit them. They also tipped me off to some potential goings-ons at the Elven Temple of Celery. I don't know why they have the whole temple to just their vegetable, but they said she said I should check it out to see if there's any mysteries that we can solve. But I need to go back to the Emerald Enclave this morning before we do any of that. What's everyone else's plans for the day?
So number one, I would have grabbed Wampum on my way down and would have banged on his door, and then if he didn't answer, put my foot through the door. Told him to come on. We gotta prep our daily, figure out what we're gonna do today, and then to Lefkadio specifically. After he says that, I would like to ask over a mug of ale. It seems too early. It's not for her. Do you know this other guy? The one that seems to know something about something, or by reputation?
She is the highest ranking Emerald Enclave official, as far as I know, in Waterdeep. That's all I know about her.
Does Kale know about all this?
I had set up a meeting with him and the first member of the Emerald Enclave, but that was a scheduling conflict, so he didn't have an opportunity to meet with him.
Does he know about this lady? Does he know about?
Yeah, I did mention this other person from the Emerald Enclave to him, yes.
What was his reaction?
He's excited about solving a mystery, less excited about being asked to do something else. Kind of had his mind on getting rid of the scythe. That was his, the preeminent thing he was focusing on at the moment.
But no, he hadn't heard of this woman or anything. No inclinations towards any of that about them personally.
And you said that someone messaged you today about this? Or about the temple?
This morning I was invited back to the Emerald Enclave via message to chat about the book.
So,
do we need to be armored for this, or?
No, I was planning on visiting myself, since it's I am an agent who is not supposed to advertise his affiliation.
So you're alone again, and everything that we worked out yesterday is kaput.
Yes.
Yeah.
That does
100%.
remind me, everyone hold still while I cast water breathing on you.
Oh my god!
You never know.
You never know.
All right,
One day I'm
so-
going to remember that he does that and actually do something with it, but... Go ahead, Wampum.
So you could have said yes or no to that question.
Which question?
Do me need me armor, or can I wear me finery?
Since I'm going by me onesies, you can do whatever you want. You can, if you're gonna go fight someone, I recommend armor. Otherwise, not.
This may be an unpopular opinion, but I do believe we should probably be armored no matter where we go. This is a city, and we are very renowned in both wealth and stature. And let us not forget we do have enemies. It is better for us to be ready for anything than ready for nothing.
For
Why
it's
not
worth,
both?
For what it's worth, let me have the four of you that are together there right now make intelligence history checks, please. 15 for Wampum, 14 for Nos. What else we got?
7 for Lafcadio.
Ooh, 7 for Lefcadio, but a 20 for Taslin. All right, so Wampum and Taslin, you know what? Actually, and Nos as well. Having spent sort of the day out and about yesterday, so that sort of makes sense, and also just knowing a bit about Waterdeep, it is certainly not forbidden to walk around armed and armored, but it is very unusual because the law is pretty strict in Waterdeep, and so crime and violence on the streets is fairly rare. So that's not to say that you can't go around armed and armored, but it is to say that if you choose to do so, you'll probably get some distrustful stares and might have less pleasant interactions with some folks who assume that you're up to no good if you're carrying weapons and wearing plate armor.
All right, so Wampum will leave his armor and his battle axes in the room, and I'll just be carrying the...
Well, hold on. Hold on.
Nos.
You're a member of the Lord's Alliance. That ought to enable you. You're a protector for the civilized realms of man on this side of the continent. You should be allowed to carry your weapons and armor. Especially as, like, what? You're like a third ranked, whatever those are called.
Yeah, but I do get some nasty eyes when I cause people to bleed.
It's your duty, though, to be capable of protecting the city. And you know what? Whatever. Your call. Y'all are all nuts.
If you'd like, I can carry your battle axe and I'll just be invisible all day.
So I'll have a porter.
I suppose unless I forget or wander off, and then I'll have a free battle axe until I see you next.
It's an extremely capable, what do you call it, unseen servant.
I do think this temple seems interesting, and I would like to investigate that further. However, I don't feel comfortable leaving Kale alone, and I'm going to go find him right now.
Okay. All right, so just to sort of wrap this lovely scene about Armor Up, so Lefkadio is going to go to meet with Jareth at Falconmere. Sounds like Taslan is going to find Kale, and you know that he's at Blackstaff Tower. Wampum and Nos, what are the two of you setting out to do first thing?
Yeah. Speaking, everybody's gone every different way, so what's the mission here, girl?
I don't suppose you speak Goblin.
What?
No.
He goes through the languages in his head.
I think since nobody requires us, we should just go get day drunk again. And I'm gonna, and her ears twitch, and that is something that happens when, and you'd know this more so than anyone else, that happens when she may not be completely honest.
Oh.
I see that look in your eyes, girl.
I want to drink, yes. Very enthusiastic about that.
There be something going on else, because either you be getting bored or you've got something else you be working on.
Yeah, but I'll tell you about it later. Like, let me figure it out a little bit first.
Just give me time to go get me armor if we're going to get in trouble.
You might want to go get your armor.
Oh my god. All right. Great.
Wampum turns around and goes right back up the steps.
What a I love that. I love that vision. Just like 5 minutes of like, do I need my armor? Can I wear my armor? This and this. You need your armor. I love it. All right. We're going to start of all of these little scenelets with Lefkadio. So you head down south in the city to get back to Falconmere. And you get to the gates, and sort of before you're able to even, ring the bell or knock on the gate or whatever, the gate opens, and you hear Jareth. What? I keep calling her Jareth. That's not her name. It is her name.
Yep.
It is her name. Great. I'm getting it right now, and I still think I'm getting it wrong. You hear her voice, and she says, "Excellent. That was quite timely. Do come in." She leads you in.
I walk in, and I'm just really reluctant because I don't want to walk into her. Like I'm just nervous with my steps.
I want to know if she can figure out why you're walking funny. Hold on, I'm gonna roll her an insight check. Yes, she's like, Lefkadio, dear, I am actually incorporeal entirely, so there's no need to worry about bumping into me. But I appreciate the thought. I truly do.
Oh, great! I didn't want to be rude and just be all in your space and anything like that. And so, if I understand correctly, there is no space associated with you. Is that right?
That is correct.
It has to be very strange.
It's I've gotten used to it over the years. Excellent. So she leads you to a little secluded garden that you hadn't been taken to yesterday. It's not necessarily hidden, but it is sort of secluded and set aside, sort of in the back of the gardens of Falconmere. It's beautifully kept, just like the rest of the gardens there are, with flowers and perfectly manicured trees and hedges. And there's a couple little stone benches, sort of on either side of a small little water treatment. It's not exactly a fountain, but a little stone cairn with some water coming out of it. And she says, "Please have a seat."
I do.
She says, "So we had so much to talk about, you and I, yesterday, that I guess it slipped your mind. One of the last things that you must have mentioned to Melanor was about the book that you came across in your travels. I believe you had Melanor looking into it, and bless him, he was doing an excellent job, though he had very little to go on. What he did do, though, was remember your description of the book faithfully, a piece of bark that only moves when moved by someone's hand and that can manifest pages of what seem to be a powerful druid's spellbook. Is that correct?
That's the one.
She says, yes. Well, as soon as he described it to me, I knew exactly what it was and was completely thunderstruck that you had found it. No one has seen that book, I don't know if you're aware, in well over a century. Do you have it with you?
So again, as a meta clarification, I didn't tell Melnir that I found the book. I only asked about.
That's right.
If
That's
he knew
right.
anything about it, like since I'm out and about, if I could keep my eye open for it.
Right. So in that case, what she says is, the only possible way that you could know about this book, as it hasn't been seen in over a century, is that you must have run across it at some point. I don't suppose you managed to get your hands on it.
So this is Carl pausing. Lefkadio is very smooth.
Of course. Well, we'll see about that, but yes, of course.
Well, I do have this cleric in my party. You can just.
This is actually a lovely. So this is sort of a lovely crossfade to another scene as Lefkadio hesitates for a brief moment before responding, and we're going to. So, Nas, is Wampum now aware of your? Or I should say, Casey, is John now aware of your plan?
No, he's not. I haven't said
Great.
anything.
Why don't you two communicate about what you want to do, and then I will come in and do that momentarily. So, John, Casey's going to send you a little message. Meantime, so let's go to Taslin. So Taslin, Blackstaff Tower, hard to miss. You get there without any problem, and you can see through the black wrought iron gates. You can see Kale, who's doing what this morning?
Just preparing prayers for the day.
Excellent. Yes, that's definitely something that you should probably do. All right, so you've seen this a million times before, right? You see Kale sort of in one area of the courtyard, and he's clearly like he's awake and he's done with his morning ablutions, and now he's praying to Denier for his daily allotment.
Yeah. So as Taslin goes up to him, I'm assuming he's like near a park bench, or like.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
He's inside Blackstaff Courtyard. You are outside Blackstaff Courtyard.
I'll wave to him and call out, "Good morning, Kale."
Kale will look up and he'll wave.
I heard you're destroying the scythe.
Just yelling for all to hear.
He'll get up and close his Tome of Denier and walk over to the gate, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll chat.
Which as you approach it, will open to let you out. I don't know if that's your intent, but it will open for you.
Oh, no, I don't want to leave.
I assumed you didn't, but...
Yeah, but anyway, you'll say, destroy, I don't know about destroy it, but I was told to leave it with someone else.
Well, I can't blame you for that. It was certainly a very powerful item.
And evil. And mind control-y.
That feels like the more salient point about it.
Very true, very true. So, I'm not sure if anyone told you what everyone else was doing, but I wanted you to be in the loop. I believe Nos and Wampum were going somewhere. They didn't really say. I kind of left. And Lefkadio got a message from his organization.
What sort of message?
Something about having to come for a meeting with them today, about the book, I would presume.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, I guess. Are they having this meeting right now?
Do I know that? Because I left first, I'm assuming.
But I feel like Lefkadio mentioned that he was going straight there.
Yes, I do believe it's going on this moment.
And where is it happening?
Oh, I don't know if you said that.
I don't think Taslin has that information.
Even if you did say it, Lefkadio, I don't know that Taslin would have been paying attention.
I have no idea, to be entirely honest. had my own things to deal with.
All right.
I simply wanted to touch base. You look like you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the good work, and if you need me, I'll be somewhere.
I have a suggestion of something you can do.
Is that a suggestion spell?
No, it's just
I have a suggestion.
He's used it so many times.
I know.
No.
What's that suggestion?
It would be really great, I think, for everybody if we had some sending stones, so I don't have to keep burning up magical energy to have people ask me questions, open-ended questions, after they respond to my sendings.
Alright, so you would like me to look for 5 sending stones?
Well, I've never had them before. I always thought they came in pairs. But, you know, when I talk to the merchant, you're a reasonably intelligent person who knows things about magic, so I assume you'd be able to figure out exactly how they work. And if you can get a 5-way communication system going, that'd be great. But if not, then just one pair or however many pairs you want to buy, I'll cover the costs. I'm sure they can't be too expensive.
Of course. Let me see. I will hand you my wand of web. I don't need this anymore. Perhaps you'll find it more useful.
All right. Well, I mean, you sure you don't want to sell it or something?
Take it as a gift.
I don't want it.
Well, I don't care you're taking it.
That's the most Kale thing ever. I don't want it.
All right. Thank you.
And
For
I'll see if they have
forcing me to-
adventuring plans or something for sending stones. And I will get those, and I'll be somewhere.
Okay.
I think. Were you there when Lafcadio heard something about a temple?
I was. I absolutely was. Yes, because I told him the name of the temple was the Temple of the Seldarine.
And what information did you get about that?
About the temple itself?
Or about what was going on with it? That story?
I just know that I guess he was supposed to go there. There was something happened there. There was a magical thing that happened there, and it was not good. I'm sorry, I've been a little preoccupied.
Say no more. I'm sure you didn't get that much of a night's rest out here. I will go get the stones, and I will go to the temple.
Well,
Once you have-
maybe wait for other people before you go to the temple, because apparently the thing that happened there was some sort of magical
Oh no,
catastrophe
something
or
that's magical.
Okay, then go yourself, Dick. I don't really...
That is also the perfect crossfade line.
Yeah.
Go yourself, Dick. Crossfade over. All right, so Nos and Wampum, why don't the two of you, because, let's see. So I think that what you're doing intelligently enough that there really isn't necessarily any danger of your quarry being aware of you. But what I will say is I'd love for you to both make wisdom survival checks to sort of keep going in the direction that you're meant to be going. I'm being cagey about this, but anyway. All right, so that's a 17 for Wampum and a 13 for Nos. Yeah, so you absolutely, without any trouble, can arrive at the same destination as your quarry not long after they arrive. In fact, you arrive just in time to slip inside before passage is barred from you, if you would like to. I'm seeing nods, so we're going to go with yes. We're going to do that. Excellent. All right. So you do, and now at this point, if you are hoping to sort of listen in on anything that's going on, I will need dexterity stealth checks to not be noticed, since you are approaching said quarry.
as we go, and this is like an old thing for Nos and Wampum to be doing. They did this for a whole year before they met the rest of the crew. So they're like getting their backs to the wall and doing military hand signals and stuff like that. And so we're not. I'm going to suggest that we're not right next to each other.
Okay,
ever.
Great. So that one of you sort of gets.
If one of us gets caught, and the other one would be
compromised.
Free.
Right. Okay, I love it. All right, so let's have those dexterity stealth checks.
I'm gonna use the luck on that because I can guarantee you I can get it better than 12. And that's 20.
All right, and then Wampum, is that a 3? I don't know what happened with your roll. Do it again.
I tried rolling for a niche, but then it didn't. Here, let me do that again.
That's all right. I was like, it's a 3, but now it's telling me 10 plus 3. I don't know what's happening. All right, Nos is very quiet. I'm still confused about what those numbers are, but yes, absolutely, 21. All right. All right, so yes, you're both exceedingly quiet and able to hear your quarries what they're up to if you so desire. All right, so what we see is Wampum and Nos sort of creeping around the streets of Waterdeep, and eventually we see them sort of position themselves in hidden locations and hang out to listen. And that's going to be the extent of their scene for the moment. So let's see, who do we start with? We start with Lefcadio, so let's wipe back to Lefcadio. I don't suppose you happened to get your hands on the book, did you?
Well, the thing about that is... I don't want to say with 100% certainty that I did, but if I did, would that be something of interest to the Emerald Enclave? Is that something that I should, keep my feelers out for and try to apprehend?
All right. I mean, I can't imagine that she isn't going to pick up what you're putting down, but let's see. I mean, are you trying to actually hide that you have it from her, or are you just like trying to not say it but say it?
I definitely don't want her to know that
for sure
I have it in my possession.
For sure. Okay, so go ahead and roll me a charisma deception, which isn't exactly right, but we'll go ahead and use that anyway. She did not roll exceedingly well, or okay, but you did. So she has no idea whether or not you have it. She's very confused about this roundabout turn of phrase, and so she's just going to answer the question and say, "Well, I have to say that yes, in a roundabout way, it would absolutely be of interest to the Emerald Enclave, and here's what I mean: that book." If it is the one that I am thinking of, as I said, has not been seen in well over a century by anyone who recorded its existence. It is a book that was handed down millennia ago, we believe, from Sylvanus, who happens to be the father of my chosen deity, Mialiki. It is of great interest to me, in that case, that the book be recovered and properly handled, and since I am the highest-ranking Emerald Enclave official in Waterdeep, it is, by extension, an interest to the Enclave as well. Not only that, but it's been so long since anyone's seen the book, no one is exactly sure what it contains, but I imagine that any gift of Sylvanus would go a long way to helping the Enclave achieve many of its goals. Right.
Well, then that sounds like something I should definitely... be looking for without other direction of Enclave business. Now, I've been around and I've seen that sometimes there are folks that they deal in the black market, like they trade this for that. If it happened that I was able to find someone like this who was good at obtaining things, and they might not know exactly what it is, but they still wanted to get something for the troubles. Is there something that the Emerald Enclave would pay for this item?
There's a ever so slight edge to her voice as she says, Yes, I do believe that the artifact is important enough to warrant a monetary or otherwise reward. I will say that as one who is dedicated to the balance in all things, compensation is of course part of the balance, but so is doing what is necessary.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just thinking about people who don't adhere to that particular worldview, who would require more material compensation. Not me. It's obviously
Right.
this item
Right.
belongs to the Emerald Enclave and it should be returned to the Emerald Enclave. But just, if we had to find some way to compensate these people that may have risked a lot to get the item, what
She said-
could I say to entice them to part with it?
She says you could certainly tell them that the Emerald Enclave would in fact be willing to part with some not insignificant reward, be it gold or favors or other goods that they might require. For an artifact such as that, even I, despite my ranking here in Waterdeep, should probably consult with other officials of the Enclave before offering a particular price for such an important artifact. Speaking of getting in touch with other members and other individuals to figure out a best course of action, that is another reason that I called you here today. There is another with whom I should consult before anyone moves forward regarding the book that you have brought up. My connection to Mialiki is strong. However, for the conversation that I intend to have with her regarding this book, her father's book, I need something a bit closer to her. We could, of course, go to the Shrines of Nature, and I could commune with her in the Shrine of Mialiki itself, but it does tend to get busy up there this time of year, and this conversation is best had in relative private. It occurred to me that since I had directed you yesterday to investigate what was going on at the Temple of the Seldarine, perhaps I could accompany you to the Temple of the Seldarine and worship and commune at the Shrine of Mialiki's Elven aspect, whose name is written here, and it is Kalrishar.
Well, I certainly don't have any objection to that, and I reckon even if I did, I wouldn't even know if you decided to go with me.
You make a good point, but I do find it the best course of action to not surprise people with my presence.
Right. Well, I guess I will just reveal a bit more information. I have been approached about this book, and I think the folks who have it are good for their word. So I don't think that they would have given me that information if they didn't know what it was. So,
and they approached you to sell it to you? Should I be concerned that this might elude our grasp to someone else?
I don't want to say that it's impossible. I think, I'm a privileged buyer, I think, with these folks. So they always give me the scoop on anything they find. So I think they'll give me first dibs on it if I can make a reasonable offer. Again, I don't know if they know how awesome it is. So it's not. We might not have to, break the bank, so to speak. But they probably risked something to get it, so they should probably be compensated in some way. Them.
Well, all the more
not
reason.
Me, them.
Well, all the more reason then to move things apace, to get to the temple so that I might commune with Mialiki and ask for her guidance, and perhaps even her father's guidance on what is the best course of action. The book, though powerful and handed down by the good Sylvanus himself has had quite a storied past, if legends are to be believed, and I believe it is best if we proceed carefully and with as much divine guidance as possible. Do you think that perhaps your companions might be ready to investigate and attend the Temple of the Seldarine soon?
Well, I know that one of my mates has an appointment with the Blackstaff, and that's very important to him. And another one of my mates went to meet him. That's happening at around noon. So depending on what time it is now, I don't know how long he's going to be tied up with that.
That is indeed important, not only to him, but to all. If one has been asked for an audience with Vajra, then one should attend an audience with Vajra. Why don't we say that I will meet you at 2 bells past high sun outside the Temple of the Seldarine?
We can do that. That sounds very accommodating of you.
I must say, I am impressed. You have been in Waterdeep less than 24 hours, and your friend has managed to get themselves a meeting with the Blackstaff. You must indeed be every bit as impressive as I hoped you would be.
Well, it's not me. It's my mate. That's what I was telling Melanor, that he's really bright, and he'd probably make a great addition to the team.
Ah, it's that, mate.
Same, one and the same. Yep.
So I assume that Melanor will not be attending the meeting with him at noon at the Shrines of Nature.
Almost certainly, yeah. I have to. I'll be going to let him know not to waste his time there.
She says, "Oh, that's all right. I can head upstairs and let him know myself before I."
Oh, he's here. Great.
Yes. Oh, he hasn't left yet. It's a bit early. It doesn't. He's older, but it doesn't take him that long to walk up to the castle ward. I have to tell you, I'm really curious about your relationship with Mayaliki. Yes, well, what can I tell you? And we will there crossfade. I know so many questions. We'll get to them. We're going to crossfade back to Blackstaff Tower, or to Blackstaff Courtyard. Taslin, you have gone to go find sending stones? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, on your own, Dick?
Yeah. I think that was the time that Taslin may have given a rude gesture and been Taslin out and kind of headed towards the local AT&D or whatever they call it, Verizon. Get a family
All right,
plan.
Great. You're gonna go do that. All right. So, Kale, anything else that we should be ready for in preparation before the High Sun meeting?
Nope.
All right. Taslin. You can find individually paired sending stones. You ask about the possibility of linking 5 of them. You're sort of every person that you ask says sort of take it up with the Watchful Order of Mages. They might be able to do it. It will not be cheap. Nobody's ever heard of a set of sending stones being sort of linked in that way. But if you really want it, the people to ask would be the Watchful Order.
Okay. If it was going to be expensive and probably time-consuming, Taz would just buy 5 sets, and he would keep one of each, and then he would save one for...
Jesus, that's going to be expensive, too.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, just enough so everyone has one. And then
okay, so buy 3 sets. Okay.
Yeah.
Still expensive, but not nearly quite as prohibitively expensive.
And I don't think money is really a thing, because Kale said he'd foot the bill, so...
All right, excellent. So we're going to say that the 3 sets are going to run you 750 gold altogether, not each.
Yeah, Taslin forks it over. Without a second thought.
How the other half live. All right, excellent. So you've got three pairs of sending stones. Nos and Wampum, just listening quietly to what's going on.
Yep.
I would love to attempt to acquire a sense of whether or not she is being forthwith.
Yeah, you can make a wisdom insight check.
4.
I know. She sounds very nice.
Okay.
She sounds very nice. All right, so we'll sort of what sorts of do you have specific questions, Lefkadio, for Jareth, or do you just want to have had a conversation about what it's like to be a chosen of a god? Either is fine, but
the latter, because that's kind of his ambition.
Yeah, absolutely.
His patron of Nabanian, and he's heard a story about the chosen of Lathander, and you know he that's all he's wanted. So the fact that he's this close to meeting an actual chosen, but she's actually nowhere, is a bit frustrating. But if I can, you know, have some sort of data exchange, that would be great.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, she sort of tells you about her journey to being a chosen. It is, you know, we won't play out the whole thing, but you know, she tells you about all the things that she's accomplished as a chosen. When she talks about how she became chosen, there's sort of a moment of I don't know, disappointment or worry or something in Lefkadio, because she talks about how she just sort of was chosen by Mieliki. She didn't really do, as far as she can tell, she didn't really do anything to earn or deserve the position. Mieliki just sort of chose her, and I don't know how Lefkadio reacts to that, but she says, you know, she does add that she has heard of other chosen who sort of gained their position through great deeds performed for their gods, but that's not her. She became chosen because Mieliki felt like it. Excellent. All right. We shall fast forward to noon and to the appointed meeting between Kale and Vajra Safar, the Black Staff of Waterdeep. So high sun hits, and a door sort of shimmers into view on the outside of Blackstaff Tower and creaks open inward.
Off I go.
All right. So you go inside and you proceed up a set of stone steps. The whole sort of interior is made from stone, and this sort of entry foyer is fairly bare and plain. There are torches set at irregular intervals on the walls and sconces. But you eventually get to the top of the stairs and end up in a circular chamber that looks like it's basically the diameter of the tower for the most part. And in here, the torches around the walls, they change hue a little bit. There is a somewhat greenish tint to their flame, though they aren't just green flame. There it is. But there is this sort of, like, there's obviously some sort of magical hue to them that is changing there. There it is. Thank you, Ebo Crazy. There is a sort of magical tint to the color of them. And you see around the circumference of this central sort of foyer area are several sort of portals, several open archways that lead off down other hallways and into other rooms, none of which entirely seem like they should really be able to fit in this tower based on what you saw on the outside. But there, but there it is. Yeah, so that's what you see. There's no one about at the moment.
I would like to attempt to mutter the prayer for thaumaturgy and try and change the color of the flames to purple.
Oh, interesting. That's sort of fun. I think it kind of works. I think what happens is, like, you sort of add a purple hue to the orange bit of the flame, so now it's becoming this, like, sort of muddy brownish color as the red and orange and purple and green all begin to sort of mix together.
Okay. I take a note of that in my tome. And then, so you said there's 4 directions?
No, there are actually, let's see, including the one you came in through, there are actually 6.
6.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I will get a little bone die with 6 sides on it out of my pack, and I'll just roll it. Because I travel with Timora person, so I mean, I'll just leave it up to luck.
That's right. That's right. I love that.
So I'll take the first one I see to my left.
Okay. So you head over to that little archway, and just as you're about to pass through it, oops. As you're about to pass through it, a voice with we're doing a lot of disembodied voices, which was not my intent, but there it is. A voice sort of pipes up around you, and it's definitely a feminine voice, youngish, not childish, but youngish, that says, "Oh, I wouldn't go that way."
I ask aloud, why not?
Oh, Samark is in a mood today. I just wouldn't risk disturbing him.
I'm here to meet with Vajra. Where do I go to do that?
Oh, just wait here. I'm sure she knows you're here already. She'll be down shortly. And you just barely catch sight sort of behind you of a figure sort of running from one archway to the other and sort of disappearing down a hallway. And go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check.
Mm. 9.
All right, maybe you just barely out of the corner of your eye catch the figure, and you sort of turn to go to look and see what it was, and another voice behind you, you hear, I see you have already begun to meet the denizens of my tower. Welcome, Kale. You are right on time.
Hello. Nice place you got here.
Thank you. I rather enjoy it, though I cannot really take credit for its architecture. It was here long before me, and will hopefully be here long after me.
Well,
to be very clear, if you turn around, Vajra's actually standing there this time.
Yeah, no,
this one isn't disembodied. I realized I didn't say that, and that might have been confusing.
Yeah, so I turn around, I'm facing her, and
and there she is. She is a dark-skinned human woman. She's not short, but she's fairly average height for a human woman, and she is carrying this thick black wood staff that is slightly taller than she is, and just fairly radiates power. I mean, you immediately know that is the namesake fabled black staff of the tower's name and her position's name. She's dressed in fine but clearly, utilitarian robes. They're of good quality, but these are her work clothes. And she has her hair sort of in braids and tied back, hanging behind her. And she does favor you with a small smile as you turn around and see her.
Good. I'm Kale Irvine of Eltergard. Obviously, you probably already knew that.
She laughs.
Would you like to talk here, or do you want to do that somewhere else?
No, I think we should go somewhere more comfortable, Kale Irvine of Eltugard. But first, as you have so perfectly shown us, formalities are important. I am Vajra Safar, the Black Staff of Waterdeep, and she favors you with a slight bow, head nod, but it's respectful nonetheless. And she sort of taps her staff on the ground, and another sort of right in the center of the room, an archway sort of appears, and beyond it you can see what looks like a fairly comfortable sitting room, and she gestures and says, "This will do nicely for our conversation, I think."
Okay. We'll walk right in there.
She follows you through, and the gateway closes behind you. It's exactly that. It's a very comfortable looking sitting room. There are some, sort of overstuffed chairs that you're able to sit on. There's a little cart in one corner that appears to have some glasses and drinks available should you need refreshment. You notably don't actually notice any other methods of egress or ingress into or out of this room. There aren't any doors, but that seemed to have not been a problem for her, so there you
go. So I imagine, Vajra, all this exists in a single demiplane or a series of demiplanes, or...
She says, no, it is many demiplanes. It has been added onto and changed and perfected throughout the years by the various black staves. I myself, though I have been in this position for several years now, don't think that I have had the chance to fully explore its magnificent depths. My predecessor, Samark, had every intention of showing me every inch of this castle, but unfortunately, we were not given that time.
Very sorry to hear that. So that means that the space within this tower is finite.
Presumably, yes, though I have not seen its limits as of yet, but in theory, yes.
Okay. Just curious, as I am about a great many things, but before I get lost in the many, many questions, because I assure you the questions that I could ask you about this tower are probably not finite, I would love to get to the topic, the main topic of our discussion, which should be this. And he unstraps the Scythe of Storms that he's had kind of like wrapped up and like bundled up so it doesn't look like a legendary scythe that can end the world. And he just kind of like holds it in his hands in front of him. He says, he explains, this is the Scythe of Storms. My group and I, we fought an ancient wizard, I suppose, named Giannis in the Shadowfell to attain this, so that we could stop him from destroying all the planes with Storm's stuff. And I'd love to get rid of it, and Denier told me that I should talk to you.
She looks at it and she almost flinches when you bring it out and unwrap it and sort of reveal it in its full dark glory. She has definitely a physical reaction to it, and she sort of stands there staring at it for a minute, and then seemingly unrelated to anything that has happened in the room, she sort of cocks her head and puts her face in her hands, and she just looks tired. And as she does this, there is a sort of flash of green light, and standing next to her, with a similar staff to hers in hand, is a sort of greenish spectral image of an old-looking human man who sort of puts his hand out to her and says, "Vajra, how could you allow him to bring this in here?" And she's just got her face in her hands, and she sort of sighs, and she says, "Because we needed to find out more about it." And this is one of my least favorite things to do as a DM, which is have a conversation with myself, but here we go anyway. And the sort of spectral green individual says, "But you didn't even know anything about it beyond that it was almost certainly dangerous, and you brought it in here. Who knows what it could have interacted with just passing through the door?" "Kelvin, I know that you would never believe that any of us could possibly be as prepared or wise as you. But believe me when I say precautions have been taken." And the green figure, known as apparently Kelvin, sort of nods and says, "Well, just wanted to be sure. It's really all. Now that we've established that," and he sort of wanders over to you, Kale, and reaches to take the scythe.
Nope. No.
He does it very quickly. Go ahead and make a dexterity check if you would like. Sleight of hand if you would like. I will do the same for him.
You said sleight of hand?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. 22.
So you manage to sort of swing it out of the way of him, and so his hand instead sort of hits you on the arm, except that it doesn't. It just passes straight through your arm, and he sort of swears and says, "Damn it, forgot." And he says, "Well, at any rate, there was no need to be rude. I wasn't going to take it permanently. I just wanted to examine it."
Well, I don't know how things work here, but where I come from, it's rude to just walk up and take things from people without talking to them about it first.
He sort of puffs up and says, "Well, where I come from, I was the first Blackstaff, and you do what I say." It did not even occur to me what a terrible combination of personalities this was going to be until this moment. Carry on.
Kale just kind of looks around and he shrugs and says, "I don't feel any sort of compulsion to obey you at all."
Vajra sort of sighs and holds up her hand and says, "That's enough. Kelvin, when Kale and I have completed our private conversation, I will fill you in on what you need to be filled in about. Please, if you don't mind." And she just sort of stares at him very evenly. And Kelvin puffs up and looks like he's ready to sort of yell at her or something. And she just ever so slightly raises the staff in her hand. And Kelvin says, of course, it's not worth my time to go through the basics of it. You just let me know the important bits. And he vanishes.
Well, that guy was kind of a dick.
Vajra absolutely and unexpectedly laughs at that. Kelvin is a brilliant mage, and we owe him much for establishing this tower and all that it protects, but yes, he is a bit of a dick sometimes.
Why do you keep him around?
Oh, Kale, and she sort of sits heavily into one of the seats again, and she says, Kale, if I had the choice, but unfortunately when one is bound to the power of the black staff, and she sort of indicates her staff, one is also bound through its magic to this tower that isn't actually Kelben Aronson or his spirit, but rather an echo of him, echoes of all of us inhabit this tower to advise the future Blackstaffs as they pass through this place and shoulder what is an extremely heavy burden. Without the guidance of my predecessors, I do not think I could have accomplished or succeeded in accomplishing all of the things that I have done in my tenure so far. So we put up with his mood swings, with his arrogance. We put up with my previous mentor Samark's mood swings. We put up with Kiriani's tricks. We put up with all of it because in the end, when something needs to be done, they are all here to do it with us.
I see. Well, I suppose I could be helpful, but anyway.
It takes some getting used to.
What was he talking about when he said, it's a problem that I brought this in here? I can guess, but...
She says, well, to be honest, it is also possible and a bit of a shame that he came in as such because he might have been useful. It seems that he perhaps knows more about the scythe than I do at this particular moment, but my guess is what he was reacting to is the very powerful dark energies that surround this item, which I imagine even you can feel to some extent. The energies and the magical energies that are constantly swirling about here in the tower to keep the demiplanes connected and all of the experimentation that I do on a day-to-day basis, it can make things somewhat unstable from time to time. And so generally, when a powerful artifact is to cross the threshold into the tower, we work together most often, though I am capable of doing it on my own, put protections in place, dampenings, spell wards, things of that nature, to make sure that there are no untoward interactions of magical energies.
Okay. Well, Ogma Scribe told me to come to this tower and see you, so I figure everything will work out.
Your faith in your god or the avatar thereof is well placed. I have protected us for the time being. So, let us get down to it. What is it that you think I should do with this scythe?
Do you have any idea or any designs on how to destroy it?
To be honest, if it is even half so dangerous as Kelben seemed to think it was, I don't know of anything off the top of my head, but I would certainly make it my duty to study it with the intention of finding a way to destroy it, or at the very least neutralize its powers.
That would be great, but you have no idea on how long that would take or what the process would be.
I could walk you through the beginning process of the research, but like any good research project, the findings will take us where they may, and I cannot predict where that might end up, nor how long it will take. An initial examination of the site shouldn't take more than a few hours.
All right. But in whatever amount of time it would take you to destroy it or render it inert, it would have to be just stored here in the tower.
She sort of quirks a small smile and she says, I understand your misgivings, but in order for me and Kelvin and the rest of us to do our work properly, yes, the scythe will have to remain here. We will draw upon the power that is within the tower itself to both shield us and to aid us in our examination of the item.
All right. Last time I came through Waterdeep, there was not far up the tradeway. There was a shadow dragon.
She looks a little confused at this left turn, but yes, go on.
I'm just curious because that's a powerful dark entity. I'm curious if anything came of that you're aware of, if it's still out there.
She says, yes, I actually was informed by some of my operatives in the Greyhands that that particular shadow dragon was about. He did not come within the reach of my wards, and so I did not see fit to pursue it further. We have not seen him here in the city, nor have any of my operatives brought word of him in some time now. That is unfortunately all I can tell you at the moment.
All right.
If you are concerned, did you interacted with the dragon? Did you get a name?
I probably did. Yeah.
And a voice in your head says, yes, I know the name. It's... Looking at you, Carl, because you were nodding vigorously.
Scroll. That's
all right. That's right. We'll find this, and you guys give it to me later. But you give it to her because you know what it is. And
Neron Vane.
Oh, I knew that, actually. You had told me that. All right, so Neron Vane. So she says, yes, I mean, that will go a great way into perhaps, if I have time around inspecting the scythe, perhaps I can attempt to locate this Neron Vane and see what he is up to.
Well, I was just, I found it disconcerting is all. Not that
of course.
A heavy bearing on what goes on here, but, I mean, look,
of course.
I've been carrying this thing around for way too long. I'm tired of it. Denier sent me a vision of not just this tower, but you. So I'm going to leave it with you and have faith that it's the right thing to do.
I am flattered at the attention from the Lord of all Glyphs. I suppose. Thank him for me.
Of course. I'd be glad to, as long as things work out.
She nods and she says, yes, maybe hold off on the thanks until we figure out what the hell this thing is. And how to get rid of it, more importantly.
I'll stick around for the initial examination, but after that, if you don't need me, I will take off.
Of course. All right. So, Jareth has asked Lefcadio to meet her with the rest of you at the Temples of the Seldarine at 2 bells past high sun. Lefcadio, how are you going to gather the troops? Because at this point, I think it's all a little bit of like, we can sort of wrap those scenes off camera, unless anyone has particular questions or desires to do something.
Tazin was already headed there, and I think he said as much, so I think he would just be there when I get there.
Okay. Lefcadio, now that you have a particular time to meet up, how do you want to gather the other three?
I'd head back to the inn, and I'd wait for everyone to show up. And if Kale doesn't show up with enough time for us to get from the inn to the temple, I will leave without him, expecting he will figure out where I went.
Okay, excellent. So I think you get back to the inn. Not long thereafter, Nos and Wampum stroll back in, question mark? Yes, excellent.
Yeah, right. And it's very inconspicuous. Like, that was some great day drinking. We're so drunk.
Alrighty, charisma deception.
19.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's a natural 17.
Great. I mean, Lefcadio, I don't know that you have any active reason to disbelieve her. What's your... I never use this. What's your passive insight?
Well, my wisdom is 10, so plus 0, so 10.
So 10. Great. So yeah, she's real drunk.
I'd have no reason to suspect that they weren't drinking.
Right. He's not dumb, so like you think it is reasonable for you to be like, I feel like she's maybe exaggerating her level of intoxication a bit, but beyond that, like.
Right. So the meeting went well. It sounds like that the Emerald Enclave would be willing to pay us for the book.
Of course, that's what Taslim wants to hear, but he's not there.
The person who would be buying it, she needs to check with a higher authority, and I want to, stay in her good graces. So I'm going to meet her at that Temple of the Celery at 2 bells past, at 2 bells past noon. So let's wait for Kale if you guys don't mind. But if he doesn't make it back in time, we'll just head on without him.
Saldarine.
He bless you.
All right, so Kale, I mean, the initial examination will take a few hours. I think Taslim mentioned that, not the time, obviously, but that going to the temple was sort of on the agenda for the day. How long are you going to stay with Vajra?
Until she gets some sort of initial result. If she says it's going to take a couple of hours, like wait a couple hours, because I didn't know about Lafcadia's plans.
Right. I mean, she definitely can get some basics from it. The first thing that any hedge witch would do is cast Identify, right, to get the basics of it. So she can do that, but I assume that you all have done that on it before? Question mark.
I don't
Maybe
know
not.
if we did. Did
I did. Taslim did.
Hasn't attuned to it, so yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Right. All right. Well, she'll do that, and she'll sort of pass along those findings with you. And she'll, I think within about 90 minutes or so, hour and a half, she'll have a bit more information, just sort of about its origins, confirming a lot of what you were aware of in terms of, the evil wizard that it came from and the history of it and things like that. But she won't have gotten very far. She realizes that this is a very powerful item that's going to take a while to plumb the depths of sort of its weaknesses and the source of its power and how to sort of counteract it. So.
Okay. And also, I guess I would ask her if she has like a second for an aside. If she knows anything about this magical disturbance that happened at the Temple of Seldarine or the disappearances of the Shatterkai.
She's a little disturbed when you ask about the Shatterkai because she didn't actually know that there Shatterkai in the city, and there's really not a ton that escapes her notice, so that's a little concerning. But she sort of brushes it off. She's, I can't be everywhere at all times and know absolutely everything, so I suppose it's possible that just escaped my notice. She does, let's see, she does remember there being something that happened. Some sort of a pulse of disturbance in the weave that happened at the temple. But it seemed to be sort of, as far as she was concerned, it was instantaneous. And she sort of examined the city on a grand scale afterwards and noticed no lingering after effects. So she sort of, she didn't really consider it an important or dangerous threat or anything like that. Stuff happens all the time, particularly in temples around the city. Clerics sort of reach above their station, or gods want to make a point or something like that. So the Temple of the Seldarine being a place for 28 different gods, 29, whatever. There's a bunch of gods in the Seldarine.
Sure.
So she was just sort of like...
I make it a point to say that, a bunch of bad shit happens in wizard towers too, but, neither here nor there.
She says, you're not wrong. Impudent, but not wrong.
Okay. Does the fact that there were Shatterkai in the city, is that weird? Does that sound weird to you?
She says, not necessarily. Agents of the Shadowfell come and go. It's a little surprising that you seem to be insinuating that they had sort of set up a long-term residence here in the city. But no, it's not necessarily a problem. Contrary to what many people believe, not everything that comes out of the Shadowfell is evil. Most of it, perhaps, but not everything.
Hasn't been my experience, but okay, yeah.
Good thing Taslim couldn't hear you say that.
He knows he's evil. Okay, yeah, other than that, if, she doesn't make a whole lot of progress, I guess I would ask her to, if there's anything pertinent, she can always send me.
Yep.
Because we've met, so.
Absolutely.
That'll be that.
And you know, if you haven't heard from me, I do have a tendency to get wrapped up in my work. If you haven't heard from me in, I don't know, say 2 or 3 days, feel free to stop by. I'm sure Kiriani would like to see you again.
Kiriani. Okay. I want to ask about that, but if I keep asking you questions about everything I want to ask questions about, I'm going to be here all day.
We will find the time once we have dealt with this sequel to perhaps have a proper conversation.
All right. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time and your work and everything that you have agreed to do, whether or not you do it.
I will do my best, Kael Irvine.
Thank you. So the exits...
Of course. My mistake. And she taps her staff on the ground, and another sort of portal opens that you see leads back to that central round chamber.
Okay. I walk out, and I assume I'm outside in the courtyard or whatever.
You could go out and be out in the courtyard. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. And once I get outside, I'll send... Well, first I want to cast Detect Magic real quick, and then just look at the tower.
You got everything.
Just everything. It's just
magic all the way down.
Like I'm just blinded. God,
I mean, it's pretty intense. I mean, it's basically every school under the sun. Obviously, in differing amounts. There's less necromancy than there is conjuration on the actual construction of the tower itself. But yeah, I mean, it's powerful everything.
Damn. All right. Just wanted to check that out before I
will also say you could spend some time staring at it. And I will also say that like the patterns of the way some of the magic is woven is old. Is magic that that is lost to time, right? I mean, things change pretty drastically after the spell plague in terms of magic, and there is pretty clearly some pre-spell plague spell work at work here. I said a lot of those same words in different forms over and over there just now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. I jot down a note as I send my most important spell that I prepare. I cast Sending to Lefcadio, and I ask him, what's up? Like, where you at? What's going on?
It's probably about half a bell to when you're meant to meet everybody at this point, Lefcadio.
On the way to the Temple of the Celery, I've got Wampum and Nos with me.
Okay. I'm not going to use another slot because I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to sit here and think for 20 minutes about the exact right thing to say to get the exact right response in 24 words or less. I will just go out into the street and I will hail a cab if there is one up here. I don't know where I'm at, if there's cabs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You
okay.
Can go. I mean, you'd have to walk a little ways. They don't want to intrude upon the black staff. But yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah, like I walk into the market. I guess it's up the road.
Sure.
And I catch a cab to go to the Temple of the Seldarine.
Yeah, and I don't think it's actually all that far away. So you can get there in pretty short order. I'm just having a double check now. But we will say, right, excellent temple.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty close, actually.
Oh, yeah, it's real close. You could actually probably walk it faster if you wanted to, but yeah. Well, right, if you wanted to. Yeah, but you can totally get over there. So you all arrive together. You meet up from your various adventures outside the Temple of the Seldarine, and Lefcadio, well, all of you, but Lefcadio, you recognize the voice that seems to have no particular source, says, "My, you weren't kidding. This is quite the group. Delighted to have you all here. Shall we?" And that's where we're going to take our break for this week. Thanks so much for hanging out. Real quickly, before we go, I didn't announce this at the top of the stream, and I really should have, but as you might have noticed at the top right above my head, we are raising money this month for the Trevor Project as part of June, as part of Pride Month. They are an amazing organization, and we are hoping to, by the end of this month, which is a mere 30 days past April, June, 7 days away, which is a mere 7 days away to get to a $500 goal. If we get to our $500 goal through your incredibly generous donations, then everyone who donated will be entered into a drawing to win a legendary bundle courtesy of D&D Beyond. They have very kindly agreed to help us out to try and encourage folks to donate. So if you win, you get a legendary bundle, which gives you access to everything that is on D&D Beyond right now, and it's either 20 or 25% discount on any future purchases you make of products that are released down the road. So even $1 helps. We really appreciate it. Like I said, the Trevor Project is an amazing organization. If you would like to donate, there's a button just down below the video area where it says donate to the Trevor Project. You can click on that and do it through there. So think about that while you're on while you were on your break, and we'll see you back in about 15 minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Hope you got some water or something a little stiffer to get through the end of this session. I got more water, so I don't know why I suggested that. Great. So thank you all so much for being here. Once again, we are the Half Right Heroes on Crituitous RP, and we are having a fundraiser for the Trevor Project. We talked about this right before the break, but if any of you joined us afterwards, we are trying to get to $500 by the end of the month, which is in 7 short days. If we can do it, everyone who donated will be entered to win a legendary bundle from D&D Beyond that will give you access to all of the current published products that are available on D&D Beyond, and a significant discount to future products that will come out that you might want to buy. So we will only proc that giveaway if we manage to get to our $500 goal, though, and we are so appreciative of what we've gotten so far, but we do have a little ways to go yet. So if you're able, of course, we don't expect anyone to give more than they are able, of course, but if you are able, we would appreciate a donation, or at the very least, maybe a signal boost. If you're on Twitter, retweet one of our somebody's tweet about the show being live or anything like that. Anything that you can do helps for this really amazing organization that we want to support as much as we can. Before we left, the party had gathered outside the Temple of the Seldarine. Jareth, the leader of the Emerald Enclave here in Waterdeep, was with them. Yes. If you do, oh yes, thank you. If you donate, be sure to include your Twitch name in the comments so that we can properly put you into the raffle. Jareth accompanied the party there because she said she needed to commune with her god Mialiki, otherwise known as in the Elven Seldarine, known as, why do I keep losing this name? Known as Karlrashar. She wanted to commune with her to ask about what should be done about Leaves of Green, the rather famous, apparently, druid book that Lefcadio has that she doesn't know he has, but that he mentioned, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. She wants to ask Mialiki about it, but really needs somewhere consecrated to her or to an aspect of her to have a full conversation, and this seemed like the most private place to do it. The rest of the crew is here. The rest of the crew is here, armed and armored, and ready to go in and try and discover the other thing that Jareth asked them to do, which is what that strange magical disturbance was a while back that seemed to originate somewhere here in this temple. I should mention that the Temple of the Seldarine is actually a complex of various temples and shrines dedicated to the 29 different gods of the Seldarine. There is a sort of central courtyard area that leads to all of these buildings, and underneath are reportedly catacombs where elven dead and honored dead can be interred as a part of the temple itself, and that is apparently sort of one large area accessible through any of the various temples and shrines. So, you all are outside. Jareth has introduced herself. Those of you who want to introduce yourselves can. I forgot that the fan is on. Is it very loud, everyone? Great. So introductions were done in Lefcadio, yes?
I'll, real quick, just spin around to everyone. Everyone, this is Jareth. She's a friend of mine. She's incorporeal. And then I'll turn around to nothing, and I'll say, Jareth, these are my friends. That's it. I will pointedly not say anything about the Emerald Enclave for reasons.
Okay.
Nos, champion of Timora.
A pleasure to meet you, Nos.
Taslin, servant of the Raven Queen.
We are quite the motley crew, aren't we? A pleasure to meet you, Taslin.
Wampum just looks around, spins around.
Even Moradin.
I have been so excited for Wampum to meet Jareth since the beginning for this reason.
Hi.
Jareth says, "Oh, Wampum, it is a joy to meet you."
And
You too.
I'm Kale Irvine from Eldergard.
Kale, a pleasure to meet you as well. Well, we all have things to accomplish here. I'm not sure if Lefkadio told you, but I've decided to join you all both to sate my curiosity about that which I've asked him to investigate, but also I would like to spend some time on consecrated ground with my goddess. Shall we?
Lead the way. Oh wait, never mind.
You'll
My
get
bad.
used to it, Taslin. It's all right. All right, so you all head inside, and the main entrance leads you into that really beautiful alabaster white alabaster and marble sort of treatments. This beautiful central courtyard open to the sky, a fountain in the center with the symbols of all 29 members of the Seldarine sort of carved around the base of the fountain. And in the center of the fountain is a statue that any of you with any sort of religious know-how would recognize as a statue of Coralon Lorathian, the principal god of the surface elves. And you can see where sort of paths lead to the various other shrines and temples.
So, where are we going, Cardio?
Jareth mentioned that there was a disturbance in the weave that happened around here. Since this is where the elves congregate, I thought maybe this could also be a place to look for clues for them missing Shadakai. I don't know if any of their deities are represented here, but I have no idea about how I would go about investigating such a thing. So I was hoping maybe Kale, Taslin, you might have some ideas.
Yes.
Jareth speaks up really quickly and just says, I will leave you all to that and try and find you all a bit later. I'm going to go commune with Mialiki in her temple. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you all soon. And there is no indication that she has left because she's incorporeal, but one can only assume that she has in fact left.
What is the shrine we're nearest currently?
You're in the center of a fairly evenly spaced circle, so
Okay. Yeah. So I would like to go clockwise, kind of around at each one, placing like a gold coin offering at each, and kind of checking for any magical markings or anything like wards or glyphs that may have been tampered with or otherwise kind of vandalized in a way in the temple.
Okay, yep, totally. Give me intelligence investigation as you go around and do that. How about the rest of you?
Kale, what would be the most evil one out of all these gods?
The most evil of the Seldarine? None of them are evil. They're all fairly chaotic, I suppose.
Not all of them, but yes, for the most part.
I'd just be thinking if they have, if the Shadowkai have a reason to be here, that might be a god they'd be dealing with.
Kale, I think I'm not even going to have you roll for it because it's, not, you're a cleric and a half-elf and it's fine. Ones that stand out that might be of interest to Wampum in general are perhaps Tethrin Viralde, the god of battle and sword fighting. I don't think there's an axe god among the elven Seldarine, but anyway. In terms of what he just mentioned about sort of darkness and places that Shadowkai might be interested, there is, there is the god, there are a couple of gods of death life and things like that. Seanin Mumbo, of course, is one of the gods whose clerics generally can take the grave domain. Let's see, who else might sort of fall into that. Neuralis Analor is also a god of death. So those might be some options there. But there aren't really any sort of truly dark Shadowfelly type gods in the Seldarine.
Right. Yes. So I'm sure Tazin could tell you this, but the Shadowkai worship, their queen, the Raven Queen, as a god, sort of, kind of, maybe. If she is one, she's not telling anybody. But anyway, as far as the Seldarine go, yeah, I think the death god, I guess, if they had anything. Was there any indication that the Shadowkai had anything to do with? Do we know when this thing with the weave happened, and when the Shadowkai disappeared, and if that happened around the same time?
I don't think the Dullahan gave you any real timeline other than in the last, 6 months or so, Shadowkai have gone missing across the Sword Coast and other parts of Toril. But I don't think she was terribly specific in terms of when the Water Davian ones disappeared.
Okay. But it's been over 6 months. And when did the thing happen?
From what your conversation with Vajra and a couple of other people, it sounds like it was about a month ago, maybe, give or take.
1 month ago. Okay. I suppose... Yeah, I don't know that the two are really related. They might be. I was thinking it might be a good idea to talk to one of the gods of magic, which there's a bunch of. I think. I mean, I'm mostly drawn to Labelas Enreth, the deity of time, history, and knowledge.
Definitely.
As it says here on the wiki that I'm looking at. Yeah, so I would like to find her shrine first.
Okay. All right.
There is whatever.
Labelas, I believe, is, well, right. All of the Seldarine were notoriously difficult to pin down gender-wise, but I believe his main aspect is male. So yeah, you can totally do that. Nos, Lefcadio, anybody else got thoughts and feels?
I would like to use my sniffer and see if I smell anything out of place, specifically the smell of blood.
Okay, love that. I'll take a wisdom perception check. Lefcadio, while that gets rolled.
I'm just sitting there standing there idly.
All right.
And appreciating the art.
All right. So Taslan is circling around, sort of checking for any sort of magical signs of vandalism or any sort of leftover anything from previous spellcasting. Taslan, you don't particularly see anything. It all looks pretty... I mean, the markings that you do see that are clearly magical in nature are mostly divine wards and protections and things like that. Kale is headed over towards Labelas's shrine. Nos rolled a 10 on your perception. It's what you notice is that it smells, surprisingly sort of clean and fresh here. There are clearly some incense in various temples that are sort of wafting into the central courtyard, but here in the courtyard it is kept quite clean. At this moment, you hear let's see, Taslan, who has moved around, and Kale, who has moved around. Why don't you two make me wisdom perception checks, please, to see if you do in fact hear this next bit.
Probably not.
16 from Taslan.
11.
My passive is a 17.
Okay. Kale does not hear it as he heads towards Labelas's shrine, but Taslan, you do hear, and the other three of you, who it sounds like have sort of stayed generally close together, also definitely hear Jareth sort of come from some shrine on the other side of where Kale is, and the voice very quickly approaches the three of you there in the center, and she says, "I think that we may have a sorry, I forget myself in times of stress. We may have a problem."
Problem.
Mialiki's, or rather, Karl Lashar's shrine was how can I put it? Empty. The shrine was there, all of the bits were there, but there was no divine connection. The hallowed ground of her temple was inert. I could make no connection with Mialiki in her holiest place.
That seems rather off-putting.
It does. Kale, where has Kale gone? Oh, you can't see her looking around. Where has Kale gone?
That way.
Yes, of course. And so right behind you, Kale, you hear a voice. Kale!
What?
You reacted far less strongly than Nos. That's probably for the best. I have a favor to ask of you. Would you accompany me? Where were you? Well, actually, where were you headed?
The Shrine of Flavolus Enereth.
That will do as good as any. Let's go, quickly.
I'm following.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Sure.
Tazin was able to hear this?
Yes, Tazlin, from
Okay.
from whatever
Yeah.
point of the circle you were on.
Okay, Tazin will head over to follow the rest of the gang.
So you head over to Labelus's shrine, and she says, "It's difficult for me to tell. Kale, can you? I know that you're a devotee of Denier, but can you? Is there anything you can do to sort of test the divinity of this space?"
Kale thinks through all of the spells that he prepared today.
And I say, oh, don't worry about this. Kale's got this on lock. You've came to the right guy. There's no way he's going to let you down here. My man Kale has got this.
Oh,
Go and get him,
Of
Kale.
course. I'm going to use the Wand of Secrets while it's in my coat.
Okay. What does that tell you again? Just whether.
If there's any hidden doors or traps within 30 feet of me, it pulses towards the nearest one.
It'll pulse towards. It's not exactly hidden. It's just hard to see. Like, it's very unobtrusive.
Yeah.
A sort of trap door rather that heads down. That sort of is in the floor, and you get the feeling probably heads to the catacombs.
Okay.
So I say sure, and then I say a prayer in Sylvan, and I cast the Detect Evil and Good spell.
That'll do. So we will say, this is a thing that is now a thing. We will say that upon casting Detect Evil and Good, particularly if you are in actually, I should probably read this well. Similarly, okay, so normally you should be able to tell where consecrated and desecrated areas are. So if you're in a temple, it should ping you immediately as being consecrated ground. It doesn't. It's not desecrated, but it's not consecrated anymore.
I shared that information with Jareth.
As I feared. To feel better, we should check at least 1 or 2 more shrines and temples, if you all don't mind. This is serious, but we shouldn't leap to conclusions.
Of course,
All right.
take your time, and I'll hand out the sending stones
Oh, yes, of course.
so I don't forget.
So unless you're, like, being particular about who gets what pairs...
I mean,
because
I'm keeping a pair of the partner pair of everything.
Oh, okay. So in that
Tazzle's
case,
just
you
giving
needed, so in that
yeah.
case, you needed 4 sets.
Yeah,
So it's another
so just charge
250
me the
gold.
extra,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
another 250.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so you have all of the pairs, and everyone else gets 1. Got it.
Yeah.
Relay
well,
station.
I mean, if I'm gonna pay for them, Towson, I want to have the base stations.
Okay.
But if you want to, you already paid for them. So if you want to keep all the individuals.
No,
that be,
it
like,
makes
conduit.
it makes so much more sense to give them to you because you can actually cast the spell.
Gentlemen, I
Of course,
recognize
yes,
that
the
this
gods
is important,
missing,
but
of course.
we should go.
I mean,
Lead the way.
we're on our way somewhere, right? We could talk and walk at the same
Of course.
time.
I feel like you could talk and walk. I don't know about Taslin. All right, so you can check a couple more of the shrines, and I think it was 10 minutes with concentration. Yeah, so you can pretty easily get around to shrines that aren't close to each other, make sure it's not like a central area thing, and none of the shrines that you test have any sort of consecration or divine connection in them.
So the entire Temple of Seldarine has been unconsecrated.
Yeah. Are there
Seems
any
to have
priests
been.
about, by the way? Like, I know that's probably a weird question, but like...
No, it's not. It's not a weird question. There aren't. It's one of the reasons that Jareth wanted to come here. The temples of the Seldarine there are definitely priests that take care of them and upkeep them. But they, for the most part, like, elven worship is a very personal and sort of free thing. So there aren't, like, regular services held, and there aren't regular priests and clerics and such that are about.
So what type of power would it take to unconsecrate all of these shrines?
It would take either a very long time and a constant stream of intermediate power, or an amount of power that I'd rather not consider in a very short time. The trick, however, is that this temple has been here for a very long time, and the gods of the Seldarine hold it as an important location for their worshippers. I have to think that whatever caused the desecration or the unconsecration of these grounds must be ongoing. Otherwise, some priest or god or goddess themselves would have dealt with it by now.
Perhaps in the catacombs?
It is possible. It is often said that the catacombs of the Temple of the Seldarine connect all 29 areas, so it would, I suppose, be a reasonable place to set up such a divinity sink, if I may.
So, how do we get to the catacombs?
Oh, that trapdoor over there.
And you can, all of the temples have one, so it literally doesn't matter what temple you're in. Like, you could point and say, that trapdoor over there, because they've all got one.
All right, I'm gonna go down it.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
Before we go down, do you mind if I cast 2 spells?
Water breathing.
I've already done that. Just Kale doesn't have it. I want to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Sure.
And then I am going to summon 3 shadowy boys.
No.
Animate
right. I was like, sorry?
Yeah. So I'll summon 3 of those. But I'm going to do that like right when we get down the trapdoor.
Certainly.
And
yes.
I will cast a 4th level aid on myself, Tazlin, and Nos.
All right, so that's what, 20?
15.
15.
Yeah.
And aid is the one that changes your max, not temp, right?
Correct. So everyone, except for me, again, has the 11 temp HP from Lefgadian.
I look over at Kale at this point, like, what? Because this is the first time he's ever chosen me. I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah, well, Edra's not here, so...
That's true. I'm replacing the horse. Got it.
Yeah.
It's a moment. I'm going to put us on pause for just a minute to say a quick, enormous thank you to Shadow Fox Carl for your generous donation to the Trevor Project. Thank you so very much. We're that much closer to reaching our goal, to having the exciting giveaway, and also the Trevor Project gets that much more money. So thank you so much. All right, carrying on. So spells are being cast. What else do we need to... Kari. I'm so sorry, not Carl. Kari. I's and L's look very similar on my computer screen. Sorry, Kari. Great. Who is... other things, other preparations before you all head down?
That's all I had.
All right.
So you all, yeah.
Yes, of course.
I'm going to bring out something I haven't brought out yet. I'm going to call upon my Mystic Arcanum, and create a crown of stars around my head.
Get fancy. I love it. All right. Oh, man. I saw those things pop up on the map that I just put you on, and I was very concerned for a moment. I was like, well...
Sorry.
All right,
my
excellent.
shadowy boys down.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. So you all walk down sort of this trapdoor. There's a bit of a ladder, and then you end up on a landing that curves around and leads you down some stairs. And you can sort of tell that you're heading towards one sort of the entrance of, if you were to figure out where you were above ground, you're sort of at the entrance to the central courtyard where you came into the temple complex in the first place, just down a fair ways. And you come out on an enormous open area that is very clearly exactly what you expected, the catacombs. There are, and it is not super clear on this map, but there are in all of the corners of this chamber, there are tunnels that lead deeper into more and more catacombs. But this is very clearly sort of the primary area. In the center is a great stone dais, about 3 steps up to the top of this dais, where there sits, that chair is not there, but there sits a sort of stone table that looks like it is meant to sort of, perform last rites and any sort of body preparation before the dead are interred here in the catacombs. Just beyond, I don't know how much you all can actually see. Yep, so that's what you see so far.
So just to note, my crown of stars does produce light.
What's the radius on that?
Bright light in 30 feet. Dim light for another 30 feet.
Okay, so about what you all are seeing right now is about what it lights up, I think, right? That's about 60 feet? Yeah, excellent. All right, so yeah, that's what you see. And, oh, well, I'm not going to put a token for Jareth, because you can't see her anyway, but she's there with you, and you hear her sort of immediately gasp, and she just says, yes. Oh, whatever it is, it's here somewhere.
Oh, I thought that was in regards to my spell.
No, that she was not all that surprised about. She's a little uncomfortable with the shadow skeletons or whatever the hell you've summoned, but yes.
Yeah.
Wampum,
I'm just going to send them to walk 20 feet forward.
Wampum will walk 20 feet forward.
Yeah, do it. So as you move into the catacombs a little more, you begin to see a little bit more on the edges of the room, and you see that there are plinths standing along the all 4 walls, even behind you, on either sides of the staircase entrance. There are plinths, each with a statue or likeness of a different god of the Seldarine. Near each of the statues, you see that there are what look to be probably not sarcophagi. What do you call it? Graves in the walls, like they do in New Orleans.
Bas reliefs. Reliefs.
No. Somebody help me.
Cairns.
No. It's when you bury somebody in the wall. And
I know what you mean.
Yeah, the word is completely escaping me. But anyway, there are those things. Somebody in chat will sort us out. There are those things. So it looks like, the very most honored of each of the gods of the Seldarine might be there. And let's see. Yeah, so that's what we've moved on to. You can just make out, just beyond this stone dais, it looks like there's another very large statue, sort of, obviously not in the center of the room, but also not along the walls. You can all fairly quickly and easily surmise that it's probably Coralon, him being the principal god of them all, but it's hard to see from here.
I'll ask Jareth, how big is this system of, tunnels?
She says, I've not really spent much time down here, but it is, I have no doubt, quite extensive. But whatever is causing the lack of divinity above, it is here somewhere, very close by.
Oh, good to know. So I'll get some
secrets.
He's gonna do
it doesn't actually pulse anywhere.
Oh. I will get goop that I made out of hallucinogenic mushrooms and saffron and stuff, and I'll rub it up my eyes and cast the True Sight spell.
Oh shit! All right, that's intense. Yeah. So and Jareth's, her voice has sort of been coming from all around the room, and so at about the same moment, the two of you notice where are you? Okay, great. What is the range on your True Sight then? Is it 120 or 60?
It's 120.
So you both then, at about the same moment, you see and she feels something at the foot of the statue of Coralon. You just see a sort of dark, swirling vortex there at the base of the statue, and she sort of calls out from just sort of on the other side of the dais. She calls out, "It's here. I think it is here."
I say, "Yep, I see it. Everybody hold up. Let me just get a little closer."
Aslan and the skeletons will move up to... Is that a seat that's right there?
No, on this, so that is not actually there. What's on the the top level of this is actually a big table that sort of takes up the middle 10 feet or so of that. Yeah.
Can you tell us what you see while you're moving towards it?
Yeah, I would love to. I give you a great description from the DM.
Vortex, huh?
Yes, a black swirling vortex. Kale, make me a wisdom perception check, please.
I really got to get proficiency in this skill. What do I have? Plus like 4? Oh no, I got plus 6.
Right, that ain't nothing.
13, big 13, baby.
All right, let's see. Oh, this is gonna. Oh well. Where is my? Here we go. I want public and I want with advantage. I don't know if it's gonna do that, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, it did with advantage. What did you get? A 13?
Yep.
All right, so you see materialize out of some of the corners of, the corners near some of these statues. You see these figures. They look, how to describe them? They appear to be humanoid, but they're just barely there. Even with your true sight, they are almost invisible to you. It's of drab, featureless, hairless sort of humanoid shape. And they seem to have materialized sort of in the corners. Like I said, there's about 5 of them. And you also see that other shapes are beginning to take form. And it is now time to roll initiative. Got to clear out this initiative. And then there we go.
Shit. I say it's people! Or, I described it. Kale does it
something.
Better.
Right.
They're coming!
Eugenio, and the other catacomb-like words, ossuary.
That's for
crypt.
bones. Crypt! Oh god, it was such an easy word.
Oh, was it crypt? You're just looking for crypt? I thought it was going to be something really obscure, like
No,
columbarium or something.
What? I'm curious, what are the other words that you found, Carl?
Those is it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mausoleum. No, it was not crypt. It was mausoleum that I was looking for. However, it occurs to me now that that is actually not the correct word, and crypt is the correct word. So there you go. I'm doing really well with English today. So, all right. So these creatures have appeared. Where is my sheet? Here is my sheet. Initiative, please. And initiative from you as well. That's not what I wanted. Which one are you? Excellent. All right. So, yes, these figures have stepped out from around around the statues. I will say that only Kale is able to see those sort of drab, featureless humans that I mentioned. The rest of you can see the other figures, which I will describe here in a moment, but you don't see the featureless human things. So, let me describe the other ones. These other creatures are pretty horrible looking. Also humanoid, basically in shape. Although instead of arms, each of them has 5 sort of long, spiked claws. Isn't even exactly right. They're just long arm spikes that jut out from their central sort of chest cavity. Twisted and horrible, and their faces sort of frozen in this rictus of terror and panic and anxiety. All right, we have we have our initiative. Let's sort the initiative, and then we will begin. So, Wampum, you are up first. These creatures here are the ones that you can see. These funny-looking, sort of brownish, skeleton-looking-esque things. Okay. I think there's one on the south side too. How many are there? Yes, there is.
So I do not see this circular thing at the bottom of Carillion.
Correct. You do not. You can't see that thing at the base of him, nor can you see these particular tokens here.
Gotcha. So I will 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I will attack this one.
All right. Attack that one with what?
The blast axe.
The blast axe. Throw that thing.
Alright, so first one is a 30 for 11 damage.
Funny enough, that will hit.
Second attack is a 18 for 11 damage.
18 for another 11. Yes, that does. Where is my... Here we go. Yes, that also hits.
And the last attack is a 30 for 16 slashing damage.
All right. Alrighty, so Wampum, ready to hit shit, runs over and just starts chucking that axe back and forth, smashing into it each time very effectively. All right. Next, anything else, Wampum?
That's all I can do.
Alrighty. Oh, interesting. Where are you, Kale? Sorry, Lefcadio. You're all the way down here.
Yeah.
And you said 30 feet of bright light and 30 feet of dim light, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Now, I know Wampum has dark vision. I'm just trying to see. That creature looks to be in the dark. Wampum, give me a wisdom perception check, would you?
Perception. 11.
Yeah, I mean, that's enough. You're close up and you've used this axe quite a few times. The axe, this axe cuts through anything. And weirdly, the shadows around this creature seem to be somehow protecting it from those blows making sort of full contact.
Gotcha.
Great. All right. Nos, you are up.
I'll give my glaive a little bit of a spin as I turn my head up to Kale and say, what are we doing? You gonna be good here if I go help Wampum?
Oh.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Go help him out.
All right.
Yes, I love it. I was not ready for that, and I was also not watching you at that particular moment, and it startled me just a bit.
So I'll make a mad dash to this position, glaive forward, and dive into this creature that I can see.
Right, yes, that you can see. Do the thing.
I got a 22 and a 28.
Those will both hit.
We're 13 and 19.
All right. So again, you can see the shadows sort of protecting the creature to some extent, but you are definitely also striking it pretty solidly every time. So
as my glaive does go down, the edge of sparks with radiant energy, and 7 radiant to that.
Very nice. All right. That seems to frighten the thing terribly.
I'll snort and some steam comes out of my nostrils.
Righty. Lovely. All right. Next up is Kale. Kale, what are you doing?
Do I have any idea what any of the things in this room are?
Why don't you make me an intelligence arcana check, actually?
Good choice. Bad roll.
Oh, no.
But I have a huge bonus. Plus
Pardon me.
16. So 22.
Yeah, these are creatures from the Shadowfell. You recognize those sort of strange, featureless humanoids as something called skulks. You know immediately that no one else in your party can see them. They are sort of the departed spirits of those who ended up lost in the Shadowfell. And then those other horrible 5 arm-spiked creatures are in fact called the Lost, and they are a much more dangerous manifestation of those who became lost and separated from their parties in the Shadowfell.
Okay, and this swirling portal of nothingness and darkness and whatever, would this roll apply to that as well, or?
No, make me a separate roll for that.
Okay, the same thing?
Yes,
Arcana,
please.
You can just tell me everything. It's
Tell me everything.
34.
Yeah, all right. It is definitely strange magics, but it does. Jareth seems to be correct. It does seem to be the source of whatever is pulling down the consecration from above. It's a pretty complex and powerful series of castings that have created this, whatever it is. You could probably undo it. Jareth could probably help you, but it would take some time.
Okay. Yeah. So I will say, I'll shout like everybody try and stick together. You're gonna get hit by some invisible stuff, but don't worry about it. They're huge wimps.
Okay.
And then I'll run over here, following my own advice to stick near the rest of the party, and then I will attempt to dispel magic on the portal.
All right, go ahead and make that ability check. Since plus your
No, 8.
okay, no, it is very powerful, and it's a series of things that have been sort of woven together. So even a single dispel, even if you had been able to put a bit of power in it, you get the sense that it would have taken more than even just a single casting.
Okay, and I will shout, Jareth, help me close this thing.
Yes, and she shouts back, "Excellent idea." All right, Lefkadio, you are up.
And just to clarify, I don't see any of these spooky boys down here, do I?
You do not see any of those spooky boys. You might be able to see this spooky boy over here all the way in the bottom right corner, though.
Well...
Unless you can't see it, in which case, never mind.
I mean, he's somewhat visible on my screen, but he's far away from everyone else, so I'm going to go join everyone else.
Alrighty.
With my feline agility, I'll double my speed
yes.
to 80 feet, but I'll just move 55. I'll get there.
Right.
I'll see this guy that everyone's beating up on, and
But no one is actually getting next to, which makes me laugh.
I'll join in on the fun. With my cat of 9 tails whip, I'll strike out 3 times.
Right.
That's an 18 to hit, a natural 1 to hit,
not to do,
and 25 to hit.
That will also do.
All right, so it's 9 slashing and 10 slashing.
All right, and you're standing there, so your crown of stars has sort of banished the darkness completely from this area, and you wouldn't have seen the other two's attacks sort of be thwarted somewhat, but yours, hits every bit as hard as you expected.
Excellent. Now, I also have this Life Drinker feature, which adds extra necrotic damage on each attack. So it would be an extra 5, but I don't know if they got anything to defeat that.
I will take that under advisement.
All right, I'll add that into the next attacks. But with my bonus action, I will use one of the stars from my crown and blast that fella.
Do it.
Oh, I reckon. Okay, I didn't. I reckon I have to make an attack roll for that, don't I?
I think you do, yes. Taint magic missile.
That will be
not letting you off that easy.
The same as that attack bonus, so a 28 to hit.
Oh yes, that will do.
And the where is it? Well, it's 4d12.
4d12. Good lord.
Sworn that I put a macro for it. Nice.
Mother of God, it's not dead, but shit me.
43 radiant damage.
Holy, this little star, the tiny little mote of light circling Lefkadio's head just streaks and buries itself in this thing's chest and explodes with light and radiance. And this thing is looking rough AF. Mother Mary.
You been talking to Timora?
Right?
What was that?
Mother God. All right. Dare I ask anything else, Lefkadio?
Well, actually, I will take a few more steps back is all. That's it.
Okay, great. All right, excellent. It is Jareth's turn. Jareth is going to... you're going to hear her voice coming from very close to that vortex. And she's going to say, Kale, come. If we work together, this won't... It's going to take a while.
Can I help from over here?
Not ideally, but I suppose you could.
Okay.
Right, so she's going to use her turn to sort of figure out what's going on. Alrighty, let's see. Oh, lovely. Let's start with these two scary boys. This one is going to go after you. This one's going to go after you. How about these scary boys down here? Alright, so the Kale, if you're paying any attention to the rest of the battle and not eyes only for the vortex, you see these skulks begin to head for your friends. Let's see. Gaga. Great. Gaga. Gaga. And let's see what we got here from our skulk friends. All right, so Lefcadio, out of nowhere, comes... Well, let's see. Does 24 hit you?
Sure does.
All right. So out of nowhere comes this sort of slashing, tearing feeling that is immediately followed by a feeling of cold and sort of lifeless drain on your life force. And you take 7 slashing and 9 necrotic damage. Wampum. 19 doesn't hit you even close, does it? No, okay.
I'm gonna repost that swing.
Do you have to be able to see your attacker to do that?
Let's see. When a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to spend 1 superiority die.
Okay, it doesn't say that you can see, so go do the thing.
That is going to be a 27 for 17 slashing.
All right.
Another D10 on top of that would be another 8 on top of that.
All right, so 17 plus 8 is what, 35? No, sorry, 25. Uh-huh. All right. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Excellent. Okie dokie. You're not sure what you hit, but you could feel that you hit something.
I hit something, girl.
All right. That is their turn. This horrible creature up here that is looking like absolute shite is just going to step forward, and you can hear it sort of like it's letting out this like very frightened and sort of sad and pitiful cry as it takes its 5 arm spikes and tries to embrace you.
Gross, stop.
Sorry.
Do not want! No consent!
Let's see. And it tries to embrace you, but a 12 is probably not going to do it.
Duck out of the way!
You do, in fact, duck out of the way. Let's see where this other one's going to go. This other one is also going to come in here and try and do the same thing to you. Sorry about it. Let's see if it... Oh, wait a minute. Where's my... Oh, no, did I close it? I'm a doofus. I closed it. What is it called? It's called this. And it's going to do... Sting like a bee. It's going to do this. No, an 8.
Ha!
All right, so that one misses you as well. This boy over here is gonna head up to right there. Great. Oops. Oh, for heaven's sake, grab the thing. No! Oh, why does it hate me so much? Okay, well, I am gonna do it this way then. Excellent, all right. So that is their turn. Tazlin, you are up.
All right. Tazlin is going to move 15 feet right behind Nos.
Alrighty.
And he's going to bonus action say, Skelly boys, protect me. And one will go there, one will go there, and one will go there, and they're all going to take the dodge action.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Scorching Ray at 4th level. Right at the injured Huggy boy.
All 4 of them at that one?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, how injured is he looking? Is he looking like borderline dead, or
make me a wisdom medicine check? Let's see.
Oh, okay.
We in combat. It's all happening very fast.
Yeah, yeah. All right, medicine check. $19.
It's looking pretty shitty. You're not sure that you need 4 scorching rays to finish it off.
Okay, so I'll do 2 on him and 2 on the other one.
Alrighty. Let's see them rolls as Tazlin conjures. It is 4, right? 4 bursts of fire. We got a 12, which does not hit. A 21 does. 17 and 8, 28 both hit as well. Oh, dear. All right, so that first one that I said looked pretty bad actually is not dead. Because only 8 hit it, but the other two beams, the other two hit without a problem. That other one there smacking straight into them. And that is that. Anything else, Taslin?
I'll call out to Kale. Where are the invisible ones?
I'll take care of them.
Great, love that. Wampum, we are back to the top of the round. This is round 2. You're up.
All right. So the one that I have been swinging at.
I'm sorry. I should have gotten one additional ray. It should have been 5 rays.
5 rays? Great.
My bad.
That's all right. 18 does hit. Who's that to?
Oh, I'll put it on the first one.
Yeah, all right. All right. So that one does, as this belated ray fires out of Taslin's hand. You have this conversation with Kale, and your hand is just sort of like casually like sticking out there. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, a 5th one fires out of it, and you're like, oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Taslin miscounted. It's just been hovering there waiting.
Yes, exactly. So that one collapses to the ground. All right, we are at round number 2. Top of the round, Wampum, you are up.
All right, so I will swing at this one.
Yep, swing at Scary Boy.
So that is hey, it's a crit.
That's so much. all right. That's 19.
Yeah, only 19 points. That sucks.
I mean, it's not bad. All right. So you swing and you just really catch it right diagonally across the chest, landing a solid blow. Next one.
Second one's a 26 for 10 slashing.
All right. And the third one?
Third one is a 30 for 15 slashing.
All right. And these are so much more satisfying than your last hits. These, it no longer seems protected since Lefkadio's crown is banishing the shadows that were seemingly protecting this thing before.
And now that we're in melee, I am going to use my 4th attack with a hand axe. For 25 for 8 slashing.
That will do. And that is a +1 hand axe, it appears?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. All right.
And now I'm going to action surge.
Yeah.
And first attack again is a 14.
I think a 14 hits. Let me double check. No, a 14 does not actually. Holy shit, Wampum missed, y'all.
No.
I don't mean to rub it in, but I miss all the damn time. So.
He only had to roll a 2.
That's right.
Okay. And now I'm not 1.
Oh, no.
I don't even know how to display it.
And then that 20.
So it's Wampum's just like warming up. He's limbering up. They look like attacks, but really they're just preparation for the final swing. That does another 16. Holy gods. That does another 16 slashing damage to this thing.
And then I am going to use a superiority die. And I am going to do a goading attack.
Alrighty.
So he is going to have to make a DC 18 wisdom save.
Good. I'm sure this will go brilliantly. Wisdom save, you said?
Yes.
Righty. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is going to go well. Oops. And it's a 3.
All right, so he has disadvantage on anybody else other than me.
Okay, got it. And does he take additional damage?
He takes additional 7 points of damage.
Alrighty.
And then my hand axe.
So when you use action surge, you only get an additional action, not an additional bonus action.
Okay.
Because apparently 82 points of damage wasn't enough for you. I love it. All right. Wampum has just let the F loose on this thing. It was quite a sight to behold. Nos, follow that up.
I will stoically reach over him and just jab at these things. It's like, okay, you use up all your energy now. That's great.
Just what we're gonna do. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so going for Spooky Boy, I can see.
It.
That's a 17.
We'll do it.
We're 17 slashing on top of 11 radiant.
So it's 28 altogether. Got it. All right.
Still going?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to spin the glaive around and get him with the haft.
Love that.
24.
You.
We're 12 slashing, and if he's still up, then I'll spin it one more time.
Not you are welcome to add insult to injury if you like, but he is down.
You smell horrible.
All right. Anything else, Nas?
Yeah.
All right. So, Nas and Wampum have vanquished two of these horrible lost figures. Kale, you are aware that they are still somewhat surrounded by some skulks, and it is your turn.
All right, I'll take one step back, and I will produce my amulet with the symbol of Denier on it.
I'm gonna say, just for what it's worth, if you want to also at any point during your turn help Jareth with the thing, you need to be within 3 feet, just so you know.
Okay, that's fine.
If you like, turn undead, because I have a feeling that's what you're doing. But
no, actually, I'm going to utter a divine word imbued with the power shaped the world at the dawn of creation. And cast a divine word spell.
You wanna spam that for me in the chat so I can read it? Just to see how carefully this is gonna go for my little monsters.
So I will copy and paste it because I have my extension turned off.
Oh, that's okay. That's right. Cool. You utter divine word. Any number of creatures, they must make charisma. Oh, that's gonna go well for them. All right, here we go. Charisma saves in within how many feet of you?
30 feet, so it would be every one of them, which is why I moved back.
That one. Alrighty, here we go. So let's start with the skulks. They're making charisma saves at a -5.
It's a DC 18, so they should be fine.
Okay. -3, 4, 3. Oh, one of them crit with a 15. And -1. Okay. So they all super fail. Let's see. The one remaining lost is only at a -3, so that's a -2 because I rolled a 1.
All right.
All right, so let's see. All of the skulks. Let's see. Okay, so this skulk that Wampum somehow blindly lashed out at is real dead. So it sort of dissipates and vanishes into mist. The other ones, let's see. Things happen to them. They are blind, deaf, and stunned. And actually, the lost is unaffected.
Great.
But these guys are, good lord, blind. I gotta find my things, but they're blind, deafened, and stunned for 1 hour with no save.
Correct.
Okay.
And they're not they're not fae or fiends.
They are not.
Crap.
They are in fact humanoids.
Crap, spackle. Okay.
Right. Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Okay, so I will shout as I'm rushing back over to get closer to the vortex.
Hold on. I feel like we did not spend nearly enough time talking about what just happened. Describe it for me, Vinny, because that was an event.
like I said, he stepped back and took out his amulet of Denier that he has always had, and I have always been mentioning throughout the entirety of this campaign. And he just he shouts a word in Celestial, which sounds kind of, in my mind, Celestial sounds kind of like old school dial-up. Kind of dial-up internet. It sounds kind of like that. Like it's this weird, matrixy.
Sure. I love that. All right.
Thing, and it's just this totally alien, weird thing. Just one word, and I don't know exactly what word it is, but Lafcadio does because it's in Celestial, and he's the one who taught me Celestial.
Sure.
And yeah, just it's like preacher style. It's super loud and deep, and honestly, nobody could really see exactly what happened. because these guys are all
You're the
invisible.
only one who saw it. I will say that all the rest of you, you're not affected by the word, but you for sure feel its power. And Lefcadio, you understand that it is in Celestial, but the power of the word is so like incomprehensible to you that even you can't quite get the translation of it because it is so just. I mean, it is a word that caused creation, right? So this word rocks through this catacomb.
It's like Kale just dropped the bass. You guys just kind of feel it.
Wampum turns to Nos and says, sound like Kale's pissed.
And then, yeah. So that's what happened there. And then as he's running forward to go help with the thing, he shouts, he'll like point at the back, the other side of the top level of the dais, and he'll say, the top level at the corners, there's 2 of them, and there's one right next to the skeleton over here. And I'll like point as I'm like running over.
You all are gonna hate me, but I read that chart wrong. So they're deaf and blind for 10 minutes. They're not stunned. My bad.
Okay. Well, blind is good.
But deaf and blind is probably real good too. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. I read the chart backwards. All right. Good work, Kale. Lefcadio, you are up.
All right. So I know that this fella next to me, I can't see him, but I know that he exists because he hit me. So I'm gonna slash at him with my whip.
All right. And you are going to roll normally because you would have disadvantage because you can't see him, but he's blind now, so.
Great. All right, so 3 attacks. It's 27, 23, and 29. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Yes, all of those most definitely hit. So holy shit! I'm the worst! You guys, I'm being a terrible DM. They're immune to blindness.
Oh.
Well, gosh.
All right, well, in that case, 25,
I mean, you still
23.
hit. Yeah, I was going to say,
29.
you still hit.
All right, so that's 11 slashing, 10 slashing, and 8 slashing. And if there's nothing with necrotic, then an extra 15 necrotic on the top of that.
There is not for them, so an extra 15 on top of 10, 15. Alrighty. So that is 30 total. Am I doing that right? No.
It's
oh, no, I see.
31 plus 13, so
yep, okay,
44.
Great. So that one, well, you can't see it, but Kale, you see this one just explode into mist and disappear.
Is there any audible, anything that would suggest to me that this thing no longer exists?
No, but I think you can feel it. I think each time you attack it, you can feel that you're hitting something, and that last time, the resistance just sort of ends midway through your swing.
All right. Well, then I will remember Kale said they're on the other side. And let's see, how far is this guy? All right.
You
so
can definitely see him.
I could see, well, if I step up here, I could probably see him for sure. All right. So I step up there and I blast this guy with another one of my stars with my bonus action.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
That's a 15.
15 just hits.
So no necrotic there, just 21 radiant.
Okay. Woof.
And I say, oh yeah, there's one down at the bottom there. And then I take some steps back because I'm a squishy fella. And that's me done.
Alrighty. All right. Jareth, you can hear her sort of murmur. Kale, you can definitely hear her sort of murmuring various prayers and incantations as she begins to work on unraveling the weave of this thing. And you can sort of make me another intelligence arcana check. I don't know why I bothered. I just like hearing these numbers. The
32.
muses me. Okay. So you can sort of see what she's doing, and it would take your action on each turn to help her, but anytime that you want to step in and help her, you can sort of, you get the gist of what she's doing since you can actually see it, and you could participate in that.
I will.
Great, on your turn.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jareth is going to begin that process now on her turn. All right, these skulks that are deafened. Let's see. This one's going to come to Kale. This one is going to, well, probably come to Skelly Boy because that's the closest thing, as is this one. I didn't measure. I assume that was kosher. Yeah. All right, great. Okie dokie. So let's start with the one that walks up to Kale, who can see it. So it does not have any sort of advantage against you. So that is... this is unbelievable. All right, so it just walks up and completely misses you because it's terrified of the word you just uttered. All right, Skelly boys cannot see them, so they do have advantage on that
But they're
one.
taking the dodge action as well.
Right, so normal rolls then. A 14 and a crit.
Oh, yeah, both of those will hit.
All right, so it's 13 necrotic damage to this Skelly and 26 necrotic damage to this Skelly. Sorry, 26 damage, slashing and necrotic, but I don't believe your skeletons get any sort of resistances to those things.
Nope.
All right, so that is their turn. Next up is this lost creature, and it is gonna move some more. And now it's gonna go over here. All right, so it continues to approach all of you all. Tazlin, you are up.
Yeah. Tazlin's gonna laugh as he sees the Skelly boys getting hit, and he's just go, you're so stupid, and he's gonna cast, let's see,
Vicious
the
Mockery?
wondrous Cloud Kill spell, because skeletons don't need to breathe, and
True.
he's gonna upcast that all the way to 7th level. And they all need to make a Constitution saving throw. It's a 20-foot radius sphere.
Great. Okay, hang on a second.
Boom.
Great. 20-foot radius sphere. Got it.
Yeah, so it should be able to get all of them.
I believe that is true. Yeah. It will not get the one that's by Kale, but you don't actually know that one's there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I don't know about that one.
All right, so they got to make Constitution saving throws. This
They
is
have-
poison damage, yes?
Yep, and they have to
Actually,
take a
first, but
18.
it's not. Okay. All right, so let's see. Let's start with our friend the Lost. Gonna make a con save. Nope. Let's go to our friends the Skulks, who there are 2 of them that are going to be doing this. Nope, not a one of them.
All right. And they get to take, let's see.
Now,
a
it's
whole
on
lot-
their turn that they will take this damage.
Yes, let me see. When a creature enters the spell area for the first time or starts its turn there, the target must make a Constitution saving throw. Yep. And so they'll take 78 damage when they start their turn.
Alrighty. We are at the top of round 3. Wampum, you are up.
Wampum will move down to here
Alrighty.
and attack this guy.
Is anything gonna... Nope.
Yeah.
I keep looking at those skeletons thinking they're mine, and they are not mine.
So does Wampum have to make a save as well?
Wampum does have to make a save because you've walked into the area of this cloud kill, if that's of a concern.
Okay.
I should probably draw it on here since it's a pretty obvious area. Here, let's see. Hold Alt for circle. Alt. Oh, click. 1, 2, 3, 4. 20-foot radius or 20-foot diameter?
20-foot radius.
Holy shit.
It's a nice spell.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something like this, except moved over a little bit to something more like this. Does that look good to you?
Yeah.
Great. We'll make it green.
Then Wampum will go to here then.
All right, that feels safer.
So he'll throw the X for 3 times.
All right, throw it. Now, it is heavily obscured as well, right? Right, Tazlin? It is heavily obscured in there, yes?
I don't know if it says it's obscured.
It says the area is heavily obscured. I just had to check. So,
yeah.
all of them will be at disadvantage, Wampum, although a 17 is still going to hit, so it doesn't
Gotcha.
matter.
For 13.
Yep.
And then a 27 for 14.
Uh-huh. Literally throwing blindly into a completely opaque cloud, and he still whacks them all 3 times.
And it was a crit, but it's not a crit.
Aww.
19 for...
But you felt really good about it when it released, so in your head, because you can't see whether it's hitting or not, you feel like it was probably a solid crit.
The axe came back and smiled at me. So
That's right. That's right. I love it.
and then Wampum is done.
All right, Nos, you are up. This big old opaque cloud just opened up behind you. Wampum was throwing it in, and he looks happy, so you feel like it probably went well.
All right. I will juke it, and I'm going for the region that I understood Kale to have pointed out towards me, which there's nothing there anymore, but I don't know that. So I will take some mad swipes at this corner spot.
Man, Nos is going to town on air.
Does she get booped when she runs by?
Damn you, air. Booped by whom? No, she's still within that thing's threat range, so it's not going to bother with her. It's only when you move out of a threat range to take an attack of opportunity. All right, I love it over there. Very well done, Nos. I appreciate your commitment to the immersion.
Is that working, Kale?
Take inspiration for that, as you knew that there was nothing there, but that is exactly what Nos would have done. Kale, you are up.
Kale's turn. He'll say, no, it moved. It's right next to, it's right behind me now as I'm moving away.
Okay, great.
I just glare daggers at you.
Good thing he's facing the other way. And then I assume I have to use an action to help.
So essentially you'll use an action and you'll make, for what it's worth, you'll make an Intelligence Arcana check to help with the unraveling of the weave. It's not a tiny DC, but for you it's probably insignificant. It's a DC 17.
Okay, well I got a 27. So.
Okay, great. So
good.
Yeah, so you feel like you have, you can see that you have contributed to the unraveling of this thing. Anything on your bonus action?
Nope.
All right, Lefkadio, you are up.
Well, I can't see anything where they would have been. I probably did hear Kale say he's behind me now, though, right?
Oh, I think so. I feel like you weren't quiet about it, Kale.
Great.
And these things are super creepy, and they're being very quiet when they fight you. It's really disconcerting.
All right, well, then I will lead with, again, my whip. And just, as I'm running, just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I'll probably follow through, so I'll get on the other side as I'm running, slashing wildly.
Okay, great.
Hoping I hit something.
All right.
All right, so it's 17, 19,
yeah.
And a 21.
14, you mean, because you've got disadvantage, 14, you can't see it.
Right.
So the 14 misses, but the other two hit.
All right.
So that is... Good lord, y'all. 28. It's still there, but just.
And then with my...
So you feel it as you sort of shoulder past it, since you don't really know, but you're able to get past it. That's fine.
And then I turn around, and with my bonus action, I use another star from my crown.
Excellent. Are you going that far, just out of curiosity?
Yes, but I am mobile. So
that's right, you're mobile.
I don't provoke. 16 to hit.
16 will hit, yes.
So with the 24...
Oh, I'm sorry. The 14 does actually hit this one. It's still not dead, but the 14 does actually hit this one.
Okay. Then with the 16 from my crown of stars, that's a 24 radiant damage in addition to that.
Just explodes. That one is no more, which I don't know if you would really realize, Lefkadio, because you're not actually physically touching it this time when it explodes. But feels like it went well. All right, Jareth continues her... Didn't do this last time, but she was just starting out, so that's fine. Oops. She continues her attempts at the... oops, that was the wrong bonus, but I'll just add the bonus myself. Should have been +6. So that is just enough for her to get a bit more of it unraveled. And... Are there any skulks left? There are. Okay, so now they take how much poison damage?
31.
All right, that is not enough to kill them. F you guys. My monsters last one more round. They can't see anything, but they're got last one.
The round's not over yet.
Good job, DM.
All right, well, so this is that fascinating thing where when both the attacker and the target are within an area that is heavily obscured, the fact that nobody can see anyone just cancels everything out, so they're going to roll normally against your Skelly Boy, or the one that's going to attack your Skelly Boy that's in there is. All right, so bless. Claws against that one. It's a 7. It's a 7, y'all.
Skelly Boy too good for that.
Apparently, the other one though that is going to attack the Skelly that's out of the area of the cloud is going to roll with disadvantage because it is blind, and I mean it's not blind, but it can't see because it's heavily obscured, and yours is outside. So this one rolls. Oh,
yeah. Skelly Boy goes down.
Now we finally, thank you for that, and I wasted 2 of them on the same.
You want to tell them how they take down Skelly Boy?
Yeah, well, the thing is, none of you can see how it works. So basically, like this thing does something. You see Skelly Boy's ribs just like shatter, and it collapses to the ground for no discernible reason. Good times. So 1 Skelly Boy down for what that's worth. The Lost takes how many? 31.
Yep.
Blessed be. All right. It is going to run out of the cloud. It's just going to keep going the way it was going, which is going to end up putting it sort of right there. And then it's going to look around very quickly and try and embrace Wampum as it sort of moans and pitifully whines. And it turns to Wampum and attempts to embrace him with a 9. These things are so effing cool, and they haven't done anything yet.
I'm going to use a superiority die and repost that.
Alrighty.
For 11.
11. Where is Lefcadio? How far away are you? Ooh, far enough that your light is not quite as helpful. Alright. Excellent. Alright, Taslin, you are up. That Skelly needs...
Right.
That Skelly's immune to poison, isn't he?
Yeah. So other Skelly Boy is going to move forward.
Alright.
Actually, he's going to take the place of that because I don't feel like having that guy near me.
Great.
And Taslin is going to walk back because he can't see the Skulk, so I'm assuming...
right. I mean, the Skulk can't see you either, so...
That's true.
Jazzy.
Jazzy.
Yeah.
That was an extra 4, by the way.
Extra 4. Oh, okay, gotcha. I'll add that right now. Thank you. Gotcha.
And I'll cast a nice, wonderful... Ooh, Blight, my favorite spell.
Blight is such a good spell. On what?
It is. On the Lost. That's
okay.
hugging, or tried to hug Wampum.
Alrighty.
And I'm going to be casting it at 5th level. So he has to make a Constitution save.
Alright. Nope, not Charisma, because we know that doesn't go well. Hey, it's an 8.
Aha! So he
plus
takes
3 on that one.
8d8 damage. 33.
Alright. It just seems to wither and shrink. It is still standing, but it is withering and shrinking away from you all. Alright, we are at the top of round number 4, and I think in the middle of this battle where there is a... Oh, this cloud also needs to move 10 feet at the start of your turn.
Moves 10 feet away from me.
Great, let's do that. Oh, Nos, it's very close to you, but we will deal with that next week. As right now, we see that there are... Well, only Kale sees that there are 2 Skulks remaining, 1 lost. Kale and Jareth are working tirelessly trying to unravel this awful divinity sink over by the statue of Corlon, while the rest of their companions attempt to keep them safe from these other creatures. And that's what we're going to finish out this week. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much. Half a session of RP, half a session of combat. Got to love it. Let's go around. Let us know who you are. If you care where we can find you on social media, let us know that. Anything else you want us to know, and a particularly memorable or favorite moment of yours from tonight. And let's go in... Oh, we're all in different places because the map's there now. So let's just start with Graham.
Oh boy, I'm Graham, or Graham Crackers on Twitch. You can find me, if you want more of me, on Tales of Valeria at twitchtv.com on Fridays from 8 to 10, or you can find me here from 6 to 9 every Sunday. I don't have a Twitter, or I do, but you don't want to follow me, so that's it for me. And my favorite time was probably Kale and Taslin's interaction outside of the Black Staff Tower.
Definitely. Go on your own, you dick. All right, Vinny.
My name's Vinny. I play Kale Irvine, the cleric person. On social media, I'm Scuzzery on Twitter, but I don't really do things there. So don't follow me. You don't want to do that. It's a bad idea.
Guys.
I do have. I started posting things that I write sometimes, mostly D&D related stuff on a blog that I got like 3 years ago for some reason, called scuzz.rip, scuzz.rip, and I usually post something new up there after the game on Sundays, and I will do that today also if I don't fall asleep after I eat a lot of Indian food. My favorite moment was, probably the Kale and Teslin interaction. I hate picking stuff that Kale was directly involved in every week. I feel like such an asshole. But
you're not saying that you were the favorite part. You're just saying that something that your character got to do.
Yeah, I like that part. Yeah, that's it. Done.
Great. I love that. Excellent. Let's see. Who's next? Let's go with Carl.
Hi, I'm Carl. I play Lefcadio. I also play Pelea de Winterro Tuesday nights on this channel in the World of Horn game that is at 9 o'clock Eastern, and I play with Casey. My favorite part tonight was just seeing Casey or Nos go whole hog on that empty corner.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Big fan. Yep, yes. Big fan of that. All right, John.
Hey, guys, I'm John. I play your Battle Master Fighter, Wampum Thunderbelly. You can definitely catch me here every week from 6 to 9. But I wanted to make a shout-out. Lefcadio just put up that Mowgli 1022 made a massive donation, so we want to
Mowgli, thank you. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that, and I gotta brag on this individual a little bit. He has been an incredible supporter of a bunch of my stuff lately, and I can't tell you how much it means to me. Thank you. We're friends from college, and it's nice to have him back in my life in this way. And I so appreciate you supporting the Trevor Project through us. That's incredibly generous of you. So thank you. I won't say your real name out loud right now, but thanks, Mowgli.
and I will kick it on over to Casey.
Hi, I'm Casey. Casey H on social media. I've been Nos, your Hobgoblin Azamar for the evening. My favorite part. I had a lot of favorite parts, but the one that has not been mentioned yet. You know that feeling you get when you meet someone kind of in the celebrity realm.
Sure.
Well, I happen to feel that towards people that aren't real.
I get that. I totally get that.
So the scene when you pulled out Kelvin Blackstaff.
Yeah.
I was like, ah!
I love it.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with how you handle all of the canon NPCs that are big deals and that you're not afraid to whip them out. That's a lot of the reason why I roleplay. Is to meet fake celebrities that don't actually exist. So.
I get that. I do. I love that stuff too. I really do.
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, totally. And Waterdeep has a lot of folks that I think are a lot of fun. So
yeah,
thanks.
Exactly. Yeah, I am also in 3 other shows besides this one. There is the World of Horn game on Tuesday evenings with Carl. Tuesday mornings, I'm over on the Greyhawk channel playing City of Gods, which is Blackmore has a little bit of a sci-fi theme going on with actual D&D, so that's very interesting. Check it out. And then on Fridays, we are doing The Old Faith, also on the Greyhawk channel. That's with NPC Bree, and we're like a bunch of witches going through the Dreadwood, also in the Greyhawk universe. So catch me there for that. Over to you.
All right,
yeah.
And I am Eugenio, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands. You can find me on Twitter at DM Jazzy Hands. I'm the dungeon master for the Actual Play podcast, The Last Refuge. We are about 2.5 weeks away. Is that right? Yeah, 2.5 weeks away from our 2-year anniversary. We're very, very excited. We just recorded the final episode before that anniversary that will air before that anniversary stream earlier today. We're very excited. You can follow the show at on Twitter at DND Last Refuge. Super excited about all of that, so check us out there. Find us wherever podcasts are found. You can also find me on Mondays tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the Greyhawk channel. I'll be DMing the Brenton Files Monsters and Myths, a sort of horror-esque game set in Greyhawk in a little town called Brenton that I have created. On Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, you can find me over at Variant Roles, play as a player, playing Zan, the half-drow warlock, Hexblade Warlock in Ravnica. The name of that show is Ravnica Technically Legal. Then on Fridays, you can find me in Encounter Roleplay. I'm a player playing a human cleric of Rao over at Encounter Roleplay's Basilica of the Cudgel. And then, of course, I am here on Sunday evenings, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern with these delightful human beings. So yeah, follow me on Twitter. I always tweet about where I'm going to be, so you can find my schedule there. I should really pin a scheduled tweet. Anyway, one of my favorite moments for tonight, I mean, I love, as much as I hate role-playing a conversation with myself, I also really love role-playing all of the different black stabs that live in the tower. Samark didn't get to come out today, but I also really like him. So I had a blast doing that, and I think my favorite part of it was realizing midway through having Kelvin say literally anything and realizing how much Kale was going to butt heads with him.
Yes! They're very similar!
I was just like, oh no.
I was very appreciative of you allowing us to watch your brain play that out. That was.
It was a moment. I had a blast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for us. We've gone a little bit over. Thank you all for hanging out. Once again, we have 1 week left. So next Sunday during our stream will be the final day of our official fundraiser for the Trevor Project. We made great strides tonight with our 2 donors, and we've got a ways to go yet. So tell your friends, come hang out, and donate to the Trevor Project. Help us reach that $500 goal so that we can give out that legendary bundle. Other than that, follow those of us who want you to follow us on Twitter. Make sure you hit the little heart button at the top so that you're following this channel on Twitch, so you know when we're live. If you are able and feel the desire, you can also subscribe here. We would appreciate that, of course. And that's it for this week. Thank you all so much. Have wonderful weeks. We will see you all next Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific for the Half Rate Heroes. Happy gaming, y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.